Rocknicks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. Once I was king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the blockchain dirt. This pivot might just heal the hurt. I got the crypto mining blues, but I'm stepping in brand new shoes. The AI train's on a steady roll, gonna wreck compute and regain control.
I was digging deep in the digital ground, hoping for treasure, but nothing was found. The rigs were buzzing, the heat was real, electric bills biting like a thief who steals. The crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. I stacked up GPUs, thought I'd strike it rich, but the market's a beast with a wicked glitch. Hash rates climbing, rewards falling flat. Chasing that coin, I'm chasing a cat. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. AI knocking, it's a brand new game, whispering sweet that it knows my name. Ran out the power, let it learn and dream. A smarter hustle, a brand new scheme. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, no more feudal race, just AI visions lighting up the space. The crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my days. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, visions, lighting up the space.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to Sundays with Max. Hope you guys are all having a good weekend. I had a nice weekend. Nice and relaxing. Spent the last 2 mornings just sitting outside, drinking coffee, talking with Sunflower Mama. It was nice. Went to actually go watch my daughter in a punk band, I guess you could say. But she sang a little bit too, so that was kind of cool this weekend. And I don't know, just had a good weekend. Hope you guys all did too. Got my hair cut. Actually got them all cut. Gotta have a dad joke in there somewhere. But let's see who is here tonight. We have Palpalization. Welcome. I haven't seen you before. Tony Mancini. I think you guys, I wonder if DJ might have retweeted something, which I appreciate because since you guys said 22. Test PC69. Rogelio Esquire. Welcome. Black Hat Team. Steven Cicero. Dan Bulmer. Yes. Country Blues. Country Blues. I like Country Blues. Not a huge country fan, but I do like Country Blues. Cook 4015. KSCNTY Cop. Good to see you, sir. Northern Crypto and Tech. Todd Tebow. Integra Guy is here. Shides. And that's everybody for right now. I got 18 people here. Appreciate you guys being here. I wish I could figure out. So one thing I noticed recently is that no longer are people showing up as like their defined names in chat. Saw that on another stream today. But for some reason on Panda's stream today, Panda's stream was fine. Everybody was on there as their name. So I don't know how to set that. Wonder if there's a setting. Participants? No. Yeah, I don't know how to set that. I'll have to look at that. Let me see if I go, that's channel level settings. Yeah, I'll have to look at it later. See if I can, if there's a setting. Shide says, it's hot and humid, but I'm mowing the yard. Well, I'm glad. Hopefully I can keep you a little entertained here. Northern Crypto and Tech, working weekend for me. I only work 2 days this week. Got it. Not sure why, but YouTube not showing my normal Valley Crypto. Okay, now I know who that is. JFA, let's go. Is that better? Jean-Francois Abin. Yes, that is better because now I know who you are. Anyway, I'll have to figure out how to fix that. Obviously, it's something that they changed the default on. And like I said, I'll have to ask Panda, which I meant to actually send him a message to see if he was going to be available after this stream, since he was asking for some assistance. Hang on 1 second. Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and look at that later. Somebody had sent me a message. Actually, it kind of goes into what one of the things I was going to talk about tonight, just at least a little bit. All right, well, let me go back to where I was in Discord. So I'll hit this one right away, actually. Travelers Travels, welcome. Dimo has made an announcement and did take feedback like, hey, what the hell are you doing? So in summary, there will be a Dimo limited plan that costs $4 a month if you're paying monthly, or $40 a year, which brings it down to like $3.33, right around there. So you save a decent amount by paying yearly. And so I started looking at like how much I was making and what that actually meant for my earnings. So $4 a month, how much am I actually making? At today's price, as of about 10 minutes ago when I ran this, I make about $6 a month. So yes, the $4 a month does eat into the profits quite a bit. But I'm actually at least happy that I won't be losing money, because this was what bugged me the most about it. Was I staked without knowing about this change, and now I'm stuck until the beginning of November when I can pull the staked Dimo out. Well, if I don't pay the $4, I don't get any benefit from being staked. I won't earn anything extra if I'm not doing anything with the actual Dimo itself. So yeah. So anyway, so I will be doing the $4 a month. I will not pay for the year, because come November when I unstake, I'm going to evaluate whether or not it's worth it to keep going with this or not. It's going to depend on what the price is done at that point. And the other thing that's kind of interesting about this is I think this will lead to a lot more earning and selling, because people are going to want to make sure that their monthly fee is covered. They're not going to want to hodl and find out later on down the line that they're actually at a loss because they've been paying for it. It's like just like paying for power. I want to pay, now admittedly it's a lot less. $4 a month isn't going to kill anybody, but still. So for me, it'll be $8 a month because I got 2 Dimos. But anyway, so that's the main part of it. The rest of this, I hadn't actually ever had a chance to go through. There's a bunch of things on the Tesla. I don't have a Tesla, so I'm honestly not very concerned. But if you are interested in learning about that, go in here to the Dimo Discord and you can check it out. So it says other things we heard from you. You made it clear you're fans of Helium and Solana. Look out for some news in the coming months. Yeah, nice tease to try to keep you on the hook. I make my decisions on the here and now, not about what might be. And also you told us we were leaving money on the table by not monetizing bulk data, and you were right. In July, we'll propose Dimo's new triple burn model. Data brokers sell anonymized Dimo data and use most revenue to buy and burn Dimo. User must opt in to keep earning weekly rewards. App developers will burn tokens when accessing data, and network transactions, adding devices, transferring tokens from the app will burn Dimo. And it says DLP, VC-backed, may be the first official broker, and they're already negotiating data sales with a public company. Our data set is already being appraised in the millions, with the nerds at McKinsey predicting up to a $780 in value per car per year, and 250 to 400 billion per year globally within years. We're on the path to have Dimo powering better driving experience for tens of millions of people across the world. Blah, 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 marketing speak. They are expanding to Japan and South America. New features, AI development, more apps, and so much more cooking. Follow us on X to stay up to date. So, in summary, for the here and now, is you will not be at a deficit if you pay the right now. If you pay the $4 a month, and you really have to do your own calculation, because it also depends on how long you've had your Dimo, and have you been consistently making money on it every single week, so that you go up the tiers. So that's something else to keep in mind. But like I said, I'm making right around 35. If some people don't pay, then whatever they would have been earning with Dimo will get added back into the pool, and the people that are still earning Dimo will actually make more. That is what they had said somewhere else. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how many people decide, I'm done, with this crap, and I'm just gonna say no more. So I got my fingers crossed on that. It's another reason why I want to at least start the monthly and see if the actual return goes up. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's all bad news. I think that it could be good and could make it more sustainable going forward now that they will be having the users cover the costs of the connection. So, and of course, if you want the pro features, you can go ahead and pay the $90 a year or the $9 a month. Not me. I don't, that's what gets me is it's like the tracking features. They don't say anything about the engine code features. And maybe that's what they mean, but tracking features, I have this thing called, it's a mobile device, you know, a cell phone. Yeah, I don't need tracking. And if you want tracking, Life 360 provides it for free. So yeah. I just realized that. So the stream is good, but my activity feed didn't keep up, so I can't see like if you guys are like adding anybody who's subscribing or doing a super chat or anything like that. I don't have it coming up in my activity feed, unfortunately. All right, let me catch up with the chat, see what else I might have missed. Let's see. Yes, well, Call Valley Crypto, yeah, because you changed it that way, but you shouldn't have to do that. Evening, Rizzo. Pro Rival. Dump it on principal, don't pay the fee for the next 4 months. You have to understand is, I'm not going to dump it on principal. I am going to try to take advantage of it because a bunch of people are going to decide to do that, and I'd rather profit from it. Come November, I will make a decision on it. If it ain't the Big M, how's it going, lad? Hello, Amplifier Gaming. Good to see you. Cody Johnson, good to see you. Don't forget to like Red Panda's live stream when it ends. Is he on a live stream right now? What? Are you talking about when he ended the live stream earlier today? Retro Mike, max voltage tracking features are tied to the OBD2, like detecting when the engine misfires. It more than just scanning stored codes, but rather identifying all sensors data at the time. Got it. So in other words, when they say tracking features, they mean they're going to collect the data, but if we want to see the data, we have to pay for the pro features. Yeah, I'm not on the subscribe thing. I would just as soon, and that's where I'd be like, you know what? I kind of liked having this thing. I'm going to buy another one. I might leave the Dimo hooked up all the time, but I'm going to buy another one to get the codes from it. So I don't know. Empire Gaming, I feel like my car always has problems. So went the crowd, LOL. Crypto Crag, good to see you. People are strolling in. So that's my little Dimo update. I'm sure if you are interested in Dimo, you would have already known about the changes. What was interesting is I have an account. I never got an email. And supposedly they were supposed to send out emails on it. I never got one. So whatever. It's in their Discord. So there you go. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing, because it seems like they started kicking up a little bit. Well, they did a little bit ago. What? I swear to God there was a little spike. Yeah, there was. Oh yeah, there we go. 108,800, and Ethereum is back over 2,500. So you got Bitcoin up over 1%, Ethereum up over 3%. Basically, you got some recent spikes going on. I wonder. Checking my news app. No, what are you doing? There we go. Jesus. Okay. I was wondering if they voted and it passed the bill. But no, debate is underway. So I'm kind of surprised at the timing of this, this spike. Happy about it, no question. Solana up to 153. Cardano up almost to 58 cents. Let's see, Litecoin up to over $80 to $88. Polkadot up to 354. Dang, a lot of these things. I did not get in on this latest dip. I was impatient and bought too early. I bought in the interim dip, not at the final dip. And I should have taken some money that I had and put it in, and I didn't. Kicking myself. Totally kicking myself. Let's see. Ethereum Classic up to almost $17. Caspa up almost to 8 cents. That was a hell of a buy. I mean, it's up. This is 21.54, but I thought it got almost down to 6 cents. So that would be almost like a 30% gain, but maybe it didn't get down that low. Let's see. Artificial Super Intelligence. Alliance FET up almost 20%. Filecoin up 13.6%. Jupiter up 33%. Go, baby. Jesus, get back to $1. That one had taken a big hit. I mean, I only own like 200 and like between 280 and 300 Jupiter, something less than 300 Jupiter. So not a huge deal, but yeah, I'd like to see it double, get back to where it was. So it's worth $300 or around $300. That would be nice. Let's see. What are some other ones? Helium up 8%. That seems to be kind of lagging when a lot of other things are doing. Raven coin is up for the day, but down for the week. Let's see what else. Flux is up almost 3%. It was up over 20%, I thought earlier, but it looks like there's a spike. I know I saw this over 20 cents earlier. Looks like it took another dip. Dimo at 4.46 cents. Down 10% for the week. I think a lot of those announcements took a hit. A lot of people did not like those announcements. Let's see. Radian up 7.5% or so. Presearch up 9.51%. I haven't scrolled down far. Should we take a guess as to whether or not Neoxa is up or down? I say down, just because it always seems to be opposite the market. Let's see. Oh, Neoxa's up. Hey, look at that. Look at that. 60% for the week, 25% today. Obviously, I had not looked at this. That is a shocker. Absolute shocker. I have a long way to go to get even on that one, though. That's for sure. But wow. I don't hate to see that. That's for sure. Raptorium up about 6% today. Yeah. So curious to see what happens. Crypto Crag. No, I have the foam though. I did not install the rigid foam yet. One of my reasons why I haven't really been like super like I gotta get this thing installed is that a lot of what I have rented, first of all, is on AI jobs, so it's not using full power. So everything, all the air being moved downstairs is actually just the ambient temperature from outside. There isn't as much heat to get rid of. It would actually be better if I just closed everything up and turned the air on down in the basement. But the problem is that as soon as you do that, you get rented and then you're screwed. So can't do that. I'll keep it the way it is. Right now I have one of the two fans off, the outlet fans off, which has helped keeping it much cooler upstairs. So even though it's like above 90 outside, it's able to keep it in the low 70s in the house. So it's been pretty comfortable in the house, very comfortable. And then one of the other things we did, and I talked about this last week, but I don't think you were here, Crypto Crag, is that we installed a portable air conditioner in the bedroom, which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. It doesn't run pretty much during the day. We just basically turn it up or turn down the temp on it a couple hours before, just even like tonight, we just do it an hour beforehand and get it down to good sleeping temps. Being that we only sleep in one room, both of us sleep in the same room, it works out really, really well, and honestly saves some energy by doing that, and certainly makes us a lot happier, a lot better sleep. That's for sure. All right, let's see. How much is a Dimo device? That's a good question. I know that things have been changing. I think it dropped to $99.99, but it only has free service for 6 months now. So I haven't really been keeping track of that. And honestly, I mean, you guys all know I have affiliate links, but I'm going to tell you what I think. So I'm not really going to push that affiliate link right now. I would kind of sit and wait. I wouldn't buy a Dimo device at this point. I have one, so I have to make a decision based upon the fact that I have one. But would I, if I were in people's shoes, so this isn't a recommendation one way or the other, but if I were, if it was up to me, I wouldn't buy. I'd wait and see. You know, they have a lot of promises. I don't know if I call them promises, but saying that there's more to come, and I think I would just wait for the more to come and see if it actually comes to fruition. That's what I would do. Let's see, what else did I miss up here? Let's see. Oh, it went in your spam folder. Yeah, it probably went into mine. I didn't look. I did not look. It's a big, beautiful spike. Yes, it is. It is a big, beautiful spike. That is true. That is very true. Are you guys able to hear the music at all? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it'd be nice to see. Hey, DJ, good to see you. Yeah, it would be nice to see any pump at this point. I still truly believe that we keep talking about the cycles as in periods of time, but it's the circumstances around those periods of time that I think drove it more than the timing. So what we don't have right now, which was what we've had in the past, was decreasing interest rates or low interest rates, and or increasing M2. We're not that far off from gaining that. I truly believe that if we didn't have the tariffs, again, it's not a positive or negative tariffs, but if we didn't have the tariffs, the Fed would be making a move one way or the other. I truly believe they would have been lowering rates at this point, because I think the economy was already heading, again, economy's cyclical. The economy was already heading in that direction. And so the problem is that with the tariffs, and in fact, my wife was just reading an article about tomatoes. Okay. So what did Mexican producers do of tomatoes? They shipped everything they could before higher tariffs went in. So what happened? It lowered the price of tomatoes down to really, really low levels where the American producers of tomatoes could not compete. So they've already turned, basically, trolled under, what do you call it? The previous crop of tomatoes, and they're probably going to do it again, because it's just flat out cheaper to do that than to harvest it. Plus, guess what? The question is, do they have enough people, regardless of what the price is, do they have enough people to actually even harvest the tomatoes? But again, regardless of whether or not that's true or not, it just doesn't make business sense at this point. It costs them more to harvest it than they would actually make. So my point of talking about that is all of these things are having an effect on the economy and actually leading to what looks like lower inflation, lower food, especially inflation. But the question is, when the final tariffs, whatever they are finally in place, 3 months after that, we're going to have a much clearer indication. So hopefully, if nothing else, Trump has a final determination of what they are so that the Fed can make a determination on a static monetary fiscal policy at that point. So that's what I see coming. I think one way or the other, we're going to see lower interest rates towards the end of the year and an increasing M2 supply. When that happens, money machine go burr, and we're going to start seeing higher crypto prices. So that's what I think. So we'll see. We'll see. The other thing that's I was thinking about, and I'd seen somebody else talk about this during the last bull run, which was every bull run has been longer and longer. So, and that means that either that it takes longer for it to get to the peak, or that it's delayed depending on the particular coin. So anyway, I'm still very encouraged that towards the end of the year, we're going to see an increase. All right. Well, while I have been blabbering on about that, let's see. Haven't hit 109 yet. It doesn't look like. Here, let me click on Ethereum since that one seems to have a nice spike to it. Yeah, obviously not up as high as it was, but yeah, let me click on 7 days. Yeah, it still seems to be going up. Let me click on 1 day. Yeah, it's right up there. So yeah, it looks like about 6 o'clock. So about almost 2 hours ago is when it started to go up. So yeah, good to see. Definitely good to see. All right, let me check back with the chat. Moving to Virginia next month. That's quick. That is very quick. Let's see. Oh, one more day to the GeoNet. Having Crypto Craig. Having. God. And that's not even having. That's having. Nice. Yeah, new Dimo device will never ROI. Guarantee it. Exactly. If you're in 6 months, you're not going to ROI, and then you're going to be making very little after it. Yeah, I cannot recommend it. Go, damn it. I thought you went on at 8. Give me a few minutes. Okay, cool. I will check that in a second. Yes, can hear the music. Okay, thanks. Takes me right back to my days in the Shire. Caveman Mining, good to see you. Good evening to you, Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. Having an ning. Yes. Put it in Webster's. Yeah, don't hurt yourself. All right, let me see if he has shown up yet. He is not yet. So probably have a little bit of setup to do once he does arrive. I think I have it all set up, but let's hope I don't run into the same problems he ran into last night. Hopefully the audio will all be perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, he's doing that. So it's, you know, Crypto Crag brought up the cooling. We did definitely make some changes. One is I'm allowing the hot aisle, which is just basically the space between the rack and the window where the fans, the outlet fan is. I'm allowing that to get to 105 degrees now. It had been there before. It's perfectly fine. The problem is when both fans turn on, it's sucking too much air that it's actually pulling air from upstairs, and then it's just sucking air somehow, some way from the outside through cracks in the house, you know, air leaks in the house. So there was too much negative pressure. But what we did do, in order to make it more difficult for it to pull air from the upstairs, she put Sunflower Mama put up plastic sheeting over one side of the basement so that it couldn't suck air over the top of the curtains that we had there. And then on the other side, we just redid what was already there, which already went all the way to the ceiling in a better way that it more thoroughly covered what was there. The other thing was there is an intake near the floor that was on the hot side of the basement. We moved the curtain in such a way and put a table there to kind of block it so that it's now pulling air from the cool side of the basement so that the air conditioner doesn't have to work as hard to cool air. So we did that. And then we also put a sheet at the top of the stairs so that it has to pull air through that sheet. And it's a heavy sheet. So that seems to have helped out a lot, even when it was hotter downstairs. Right now, what is it downstairs right now? I'm guessing it's probably like about 87 degrees. Let me check. And I still don't see Goat here yet. So yeah, Goat might be joining us. He said he was going to. All right. Go V. Where are we at? We are at 88 degrees down in the basement, so it is still pretty warm. But upstairs, usually we were able to keep a 15-degree difference between the two. And yeah, we're at 74 upstairs, so 14-degree difference right now. So yeah, we're in comfortable shape. So yeah, that was a little project that we did, that she did actually. It got really hot in here. It got 83 degrees in the house last week. That was not comfortable at all. It was like 79 degrees when we were sleeping. Yeah, we said we weren't going to do that again. In actuality, I shouldn't say that. She didn't sleep because she was at her friend's house. I slept when it was 79 degrees in the bedroom. And that was not super comfortable. Yeah. No, thank you. So anyway, that's what I did there. Oh, one other thing today. I had my first paid one-on-one session today. Somebody had contacted me about help installing Vast. This person was actually very knowledgeable, but had run into an obstacle. And so I basically just helped the person work through it. And I wasn't even sure. He definitely was running into some odd errors. And so I just kind of worked through a few things and figured it out. Between the two of us, we figured it out. Part of it was making changes on when two GPUs are installed on VAST. Doesn't seem to work really well on the 50 series, so you got to take everything out except for one. And then once you did that, doing another reinstall. Ooh, I think Goat is here. Let me see if I can get this running, guys. Give me 1 second. Start that. Say something, Goat. Okay, that did not do anything yet. Hold on. Okay. That's not it. I hope your thing's not screwed up. Because normally it should be coming through. Here, let me do this. All right, he's there. Say something.
Say something. Anything.
Yeah.
Nobody?
Still cannot hear you.
God.
Let me check one other thing here. Yeah, the sound is up. Oh,
Come on now.
See what's going on there?
Anything? Nothing?
Hold on. Can you guys hear him? Okay, that I thought so. Give me a second. Okay, now I'm not doubled because
Yeah,
it comes through Video Ninja and comes through OBS.
They can
So
hear
that
me.
has nothing to do
You're
with him.
doubled.
He is not coming through.
Well, he can't hear me
on there at all. Let me check audio settings. That's mic delay. All right, try it again.
Can you hear me now?
No. It's weird though. You are coming through. All right. Now, no, you're good. Now say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. So I don't need the Princess Leia headphones.
You do not.
All right. Cool.
Well, let's put it this way. It was a setting. You were muted.
Ah.
But the weird thing about it is that when I looked at it, you were not muted. But if I like hover over your picture and then looked at the actual like sound, it was like you were muted there. It was like totally turned off, like where I could adjust the volume. So anyway,
nice.
You guys can hear him, right?
Times. Crypto Craig says we can hear both.
Okay, got it. Cool. Good
on,
deal. How
buddy?
you doing?
I'm tired. It's been a long day. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It was not such a long day with me. It was a
Good
good
for
day.
you. It was a good day. It was just long. It was a lot of shit I'm doing.
So what'd you do today?
Trying to prep my son's room to change it into my day job office. I got done sanding all the walls, most of the walls, parts that needed it. Now I got to clean up all that sand dust. I'm going to let that sit overnight and let it like settle so I don't have to deal with it in the air. I'm just going to go in there with a shop vac and clean it all up and wipe down the walls and stuff. Cool. And then probably paint it this week. And I shot 2.5 videos today. The other half of the one I got to go outside to finish, and it was raining at the time, so I didn't get to go outside. So I'll finish that this week.
Yeah, you guys got some rain up there. We didn't see it down here. It all developed past us as it moved northwest. But yeah, did you get like what I have affectionately called a gully whomper? Did you get a big?
No, it wasn't that bad. It was just a little bit of rain. It was enough that I didn't want to go get my fancy hair wet. You know how it goes.
Right. No, I definitely know how that goes. So anyway, but yeah, it was we totally missed it, unfortunately.
Good.
It was like getting rain at the end of a weekend. We still might get some. I actually just saw an alert come up that said we have lightning within 15 miles, but you know, within 15 miles is a long way away. So
we haven't gotten many storms up here this year, at least. We had a couple of doozies last year, but like Georgia had some horrible weather. I still get alerts from the neighborhood app or whatever, and there was some really nasty weather down there a couple of weeks ago, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just west of us, and it's like we're now on the developing line. Like literally, where I am is where the storms blow up and then move north from there. So it looks like that dry line is moving south, and so hopefully we'll get some rain a little bit later. We'll see.
So what have you been up to? Here you're dealing with airflow issues in your basement.
Yeah, I mean we're figuring it out. Right now it's doing okay. I have raised the price on a bunch of stuff. Because I'm like, you know, if I don't get rented, no big deal. I have still been rented decently. I'm still making over $600 a week. I'm not making the over 700 I was a couple weeks ago, but that's all right. I have 12 out of my 15.
Wow.
The thing is, every time I say this is always bad because every time I do this, then something stops being rented. But yeah, right now, 12 out of 15 4090s. I have 2 out of my 3 3060s rented, which actually is pretty good. My 1 3060 is making 8 cents an hour. Typically on salad, it's 4.2. My other one that I have actually tuned down to 120 watts is making 5.7 cents an hour. So when I talk about not going with salad, this is the reason, because typically I can make more money on Vast. The typical amount on salad is around 4.2. Now, with that said, right now, one out of the two 3060s I have on salad is making 5.57 cents an hour. So, which actually comes out to about 5 cents an hour. So it is better than normal. But again, that's somewhat not typical. And then I do have one out of the four 5060 Ti's. That's kind of a failed experiment. I want to say a failed experiment, but I feel like right now we're getting into 50 series. It's a little too early because people haven't made the change. They have to migrate what they've programmed onto the new versions of the software that's used for all of this machine learning and AI. And then my 3090 behind me is also rented. That 3090 is making 13.8 cents an hour.
So is that $600 a week? Is that before power or after?
That's before power.
Okay. So how much are you figuring you're paying in power for the compute side?
So right now it's kind of interesting because like right now my Octo server, okay, that one is on and off. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. I mean, as far as not being rented, but I mean, as far as using it when it's rented. My 8x4090 never seems to be used. It's like being used like salad. It is just sitting there in reserve. The 3060, which only has one fan running on it, and that's the one I've set at 120 watts, is like 51 degrees C. The other 3060 is at 55. So these aren't running at full power at all.
Yeah.
So when I look at if I look at it, hang on, let me pull up my Emporia.
I was going to say, because you got that all in Emporia on dedicated circuits, so you can look at specifically what these circuits are costing.
So right now, because my 6 GPU rig is running, that right now is at about 2400, 2450 watts. The other Vast AI is only at 800 watts. So that's like 3200 watts approximately, 3250. And then if we pull everything else from the basement, so that's another 900 plus the den.
You can export that in a CSV, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay. I'm surprised you don't have it already up in a CSV with pie charts and graphs and.
Yeah, no. I didn't actually think about doing this tonight. So 1900 plus, so about another 2300. So we're just under 5. We're just under 5 kilowatts right now. So
you know what? That could be something cool that you could do for your members. You export that as a CSV and have monthly outputs to show this is what I'm doing. This is the power cost and all that kind of stuff. Kind of help people entice, to make it worth becoming a member and keeping that ongoing. Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that. So I've been thinking about that because I already have the tool that I did for the hourly power. And that took a lot of effort. And I'm like, you know what? I want to make that a members only type thing, but I got to set up the space for it. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. The other part of it is I'm trying to figure out how I would do this, but I have been having a lot of people contact me about Solar Edge and trying to figure out how to make the Ethernet, the actual default.
You made a video about that, right?
What was that?
You made a video about that though, right?
I did. The thing is part of that video was calling Dan Bulmer. Thank you for
nice.
Actually gifting a membership. I appreciate that.
No, Crypto Craig gifted the membership to Dan.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Thanks. I can't read. Reading is hard.
Words are hard. It's okay.
Words are hard. Yes. I'm dyslexic when it comes to memberships. That's what it is. So anyway, what were we talking about now?
Your Solar Edge.
Oh yeah. So the thing was that I had to call up Solar Edge multiple times in order to actually get them to give me access. And just a matter of calling, getting the right person on the phone. And I still remember to this day, I here's the deal. I'd asked to go to a manager, and I'm like, here's the deal. I already have the Ethernet installed. It's closed up. All I need is access so that I can set the Ethernet to the default communication. That's all. That's all I need. I know exactly how to do it. I just don't have the access to do it. Can you help me?
So is it like admin credentials on the dashboard or something?
Basically, it makes you an installer.
Is there default like admin creds, or is it different for everybody?
No, it's default admin creds. I have admin ability now on my inverter.
But cool. You need to. Everybody else needs to call their provider and get that information as well, or the OEM. I mean,
they have to call SolarEdge.
Yeah,
and that's
so what I'm saying is the credentials that they gave you are not the same credentials that would work on their.
Oh no! It would. It absolutely would.
Just give them out.
The problem is the fact that if I give out my credentials and they start seeing the same credentials being logged in on different, and especially if it's in a different part of the country, they might be like, oh, wait a minute, what the hell? And they could take it away, because honestly, they were supposed to, and they never did. So
gotcha. Okay.
In this area, somebody wants to pay for my travel, pay for 15 minutes of my time in order to do it. I'll come over there, use my phone, and I'll do it. The problem is the guy that wanted it, was looking for help. He was in West Texas, so not even near an airport. But I felt bad for him because he was pretty discouraged. His installer was out of business, like many of them are.
Yeah.
So that really kind of sucked. But anyway,
just put it behind a paywall. It'll be worth it, though. I mean, how often do you need to get into there?
Not very often. Not very often at all.
Yeah.
Occasionally, if something goes wrong, it is valuable because it does provide a little bit more information than if you're just a homeowner trying to get in there. So it's one of those things where I don't want to lose that access. It is important.
Well, so can you essentially create like a wireless package that you would send to the user? They deploy it there, and then you get remote access. You do what you need to do, lock it back down, and they ship you the thing back. I'm just saying, if somebody really wants access to it and you have the knowledge and the ability to do so, make them pay for it.
It's not a bad idea, but the problem is, in order to gain access to the SolarEdge is, I don't think so, but I haven't actually thought about that. So let's think about this for a second. You have to Bluetooth into it.
Okay.
So you'd have to somehow Bluetooth into it remotely.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do that. How would you do that?
You just get like a mini PC or a node that has Bluetooth enabled. Is it gone through an app, or how?
An app.
Is it Android only?
Yes.
Put an Android emulator on a Windows box or a Linux box. I mean, Android is Linux, but hell, I've got. Oh,
that's true.
That's right. Let me just go ahead and make everybody deaf by smacking my mic. This right here is running Android 13, and it's UU Tech R1. It's about $80, and it's a little bit bigger than a Raspberry Pi. It's got Bluetooth 5.2 on it, I think 5.2 or 5.3, Wi-Fi 6. They sent it to me to review. It's got a NVMe slot on it, but something simple like this, or even a Raspberry Pi, you put a Bluetooth hat on the top. There you go. If that's all it needs, and then you do a TeamViewer type of remote access or RDP or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I can obviously test it out here before to make sure it works. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that could definitely, like I said, I've been contacted about it a lot.
Well, Scott A even says you can remote control phones with TeamViewer. So if you have a spare phone, or you buy, a cheap phone on Facebook and Android, and then install TeamViewer app and send it out there, give them the pin or whatever.
I actually do, but it doesn't have cellular access because it's my old phone.
Doesn't need to, as long as it's got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they have Wi-Fi, they can connect the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Just create a burner account, in Gmail, burn our Google account, and throw it on there, and then tie nothing else to it, obviously.
Yep.
And then just mail them a phone. Say here's the cost of the service.
Interesting.
Worth trying.
Yeah. And this guy's like, he's like stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, he's like, he can't get anybody to do anything. This closest Solar Edge installer is 400 miles away. So yeah.
Run Windows BlueStacks and a Windows VM running in a Docker container. Damn it, Retro Mike, you son of a bitch. BlueStacks. Oh my God, that was like the shittiest Android emulator. It was okay. Let me back that up. It was okay. It was just old school. It was when
Iowa Mining says, can see max voltage's brain spinning, thinking how to do it. Yes, definitely. I mean, here's what I've been thinking a lot about. Okay. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm 57 years old. So that's 8 years away from a typical retirement, and I'm nowhere near where I need to be. So I'm trying to think of other ways that I can make additional income so I can save for retirement, as well as having, like, I don't consider like this type of thing and helping people solve problems, I don't think of that as work. So finding other ways to make money would be like super important. So I've been thinking a lot about that. And today was like I said, today was like a first step. I had my first one-on-one today. And people, as long as you provide good service and you help them. The thing is, I had said, hey, minimum of an hour. And he's like, yeah, it probably will take an hour. It took me 20 minutes to fix the problem. And he was happy. He was definitely happy.
Yeah, you pay by the hour. I mean,
yeah. So
we've got a 2-hour minimum at my office.
Yeah, so we didn't like, I didn't just be like, okay, well, it's fixed, so see ya. We talked for the rest of the time, and I gave him some other pointers and some other things. And actually, he shared a few things with me as well about what he was doing. He has Home Assistant set up, so he was showing me how he had that set up.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, so how are you doing that? And he's like, well, I'm running it through like one of the outlet, power monitor things.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I said, make sure, because I know in the US I've seen those and they're not made to run that many amps through, but his was the spec on it was 13 amps. So I'm like, oh, okay, you're fine. He's running nowhere. He was running like 800 to 1,000 watts, so nowhere near 13 amps. So he was fine. But anyway, we had great conversation. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I just got to get it set up. I've had one other person request it, but again, you got to make it easy for people to request. You can't be like, have them, hey, I'd love to pay for your time. Great. I'm setting something up, and then never get back to them. And then they're like, they move on or they figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be doing that. We'll see how that turns out. I know that I've had a few conversations with hobbyists about it. I have to go back and look. He told me what he uses to do scheduling, which seems to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like a book with me, like a bookings kind of thing.
Yeah, there is that website. That one wasn't the one that he used, and I actually put it through ChatGPT. And when I was going through it with ChatGPT, I found errors. I'm like, that's
imagine
not
that.
really how that is. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. It's not. Let me correct that. So you got to do your own research as well. But it is helpful when you see the factual information and then them displaying it and saying, this is where this is better, this is where this isn't, and then verifying what they're saying is correct. You're kind of like, okay, it can help you make a decision by summarizing things a little bit better than your brain can do like that quickly. So but yeah, I basically said, yep, what hobbyist uses is probably your best solution right now. Maybe in the future I might do high level, but that's a lot more expensive, but it also has a lot more features, especially with like forms and capturing emails through forms and things like that. So if you have like things in your videos where you're like, hey, if you want access to this, fill out this form. Now you capture their email, you can ping them later on, market to them later on, things like that. But yeah, trying to treat YouTube a little bit more like a business while at the same time not losing the fun of YouTube and live streams and the community and all that kind of stuff. So
oh man, the fun of YouTube was gone years ago. No.
I don't know. You look like you were having a lot of fun making those videos because they were fun to watch.
Which ones?
Well, the especially the latest one.
Oh, the shorts. Yeah, I do enjoy making shorts.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the hook for the latest full video.
Oh, that was kind of cool too. I was like, I want to try that. I want to try something different, try something new. I've been trying to get it like it just something different, something unique, learning different ways. I've been watching a lot of like videos on how to shoot different ways and stuff. Like I've still got it on my to-do list to do a recap from Vegas a fucking month ago. Might be a little too late for that, but like I've got all of these like ideas and I started using it's just a notes app or whatever, but shot list, where you've said, this is going to be the shot, and you kind of bubble it together with it where it rolls into the next shot and the next shot and the next shot, kind of like laying it all out. So I don't know. I'm learning a little bit more as I go, and I'm really getting into it and stuff.
So one of the again, somebody that I watch, Shane Hummus, I've mentioned him a bunch of times. He says that Claude is really good for scripts and setting up like concepts for videos.
Okay.
He's like, it's not gonna like write it can write it out for you, but you better give it a lot of context in order to do that. But he's like, it can certainly give you a really, really good outline for a video if you give it enough understanding. So it seems to me to be a lot less robotic, more natural sounding with the way it sets up videos than ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I've watched some of the videos that I've done where I've done the script through ChatGPT, and I'm like, yeah, that's not how I sound.
Yeah.
Not even the fact that I'm like, you can tell I'm reading a script, but that's not how I talk. So yeah, so I've obviously gone away from that, although I've kind of gone away from making videos at all, which I really, really need to do. I was planning on doing some of that this weekend, but God, I had to work 15 hours on Friday. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad I don't have to do that stuff.
Well, I mean, the problem was that my supervisor has been really sick. And then somebody else is no longer working there, and that happened on Friday. So yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Exactly. No, nice thing was that the boss is taking care of me. We'll just
good.
That. So
good. Well, at least there's that.
Yes, there is that.
Yeah. Now for me, I'm like, it's 5:00. Windows key L, lock, done. You need me? You got my number.
Yep.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Well, you don't have anybody that reports to you.
Not officially. No. I pull from different departments as needed, but
yeah. So that's
more on a project basis. More like project management scoping instead of like,
so you're like Matrix then, more like than anything else. Nobody actually reports to you, but you need them to do
I've got a lot of dotted lines.
Yeah, exactly. I've been in that environment when I was a program manager. I actually like that because you have to figure out how to be influential. You can't just be like, dude, I need you to do this. Because guess what? You say that and they ain't gonna do it for you. So
it's a little different where I'm at. I just assign them a ticket. And if there's no work on the ticket, in like 4 days or 5 days or whatever, I'll ping them again in the ticket or in Salesforce or whatever, in the other CRM. And if there's still no answer, then I'll do an with their supervisor, and then it just gets resolved. We all work together. We all got shit to do and we understand it. So it's not that bad, but there's been a few times where I'm just like, dude, hello.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've had that a number of times when I was in program management. It was the buyers were really, really overworked, especially when it was pandemic time, because nothing was freaking in. Well, I shouldn't say nothing was in stock. No product had everything in stock. So every project that you had to be creative to try to find an alternative, or go through a broker or whatever, in order to get the parts you needed. And that obviously just takes a lot of time than just literally going to your distributor and saying, I need, 10,000 of these. So yeah. And so then now they're doing that for the same number of projects they were working on before, except it's taking them 3 times as long to get through it. I mean, the numbers just don't add up. And you think the company added people? Of course not. So, because they don't know how long it's going to last. How long is this going to keep happening? So I get it, but anyway, those were the ones where you had to be like kind of influential to say this is like super important. You know how important this particular project is to our company. I had one very, very hot customer that was extremely profitable for the company. So anytime there was an issue with that one, everybody jumped.
Yeah.
So that was fortunate.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I got those too.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good weekend. Got to pick up my notes. So I'm curious. So I should put this as a poll. Is everybody tired of hearing about Xeggex at this point, or Xeggex, or however you pronounce it? Because obviously everybody's been talking about it. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
It really sucks. I mean, no warning, nothing. Sorry, we're closed. Lock the door. Not you've got 30 days, you've got a day, you've got 15 days, nothing. It's like, hey, we're closing down. Get your funds. Nope. Just lock the door. Sorry. We're done.
I was lucky. I had so little on there that I don't even remember how much I had on there because it was so small.
Yeah, I think I had an account on there, but I haven't even looked.
Yeah, most of the crypto that I had on there was on dying projects.
Yeah.
Like I most of it that was on there was from when I had the jazz miner, and I was mining all these different ETH coins, and most of them are like, not worth it at all.
Yeah.
So yeah. Crypto Craig, well, he's probably gone at this point. It was 8:24. Yeah, it was 10 minutes ago. So Retro Mike 10 minutes ago says, want unlimited paid one-on-ones, create videos on how to make a mining pool. Oh, I see what you're saying. Want unlimited one-on-ones, create videos on how to make a mining pool. Yeah, I'll leave that one for you, Retro Mike, since I don't really know how to do it. But yeah,
he's got some really good tutorials. I was looking at him and wanted to make a video on following his guide on how to make it on dedicated hardware or a VM or whatever. I haven't yet.
Yeah, no, I right now I'm just trying to concentrate on the one-on-ones. Would like to get to the point where I have a website landing page, develop that, but it all just takes time. And now we have less people at work, not more. So
just ask Claude to do it.
True. But then you got to figure out which service to go with. But yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Caw Valley Crypto says, you are a young pup, Max. Yeah, I think when I hit 60, it'll kind of hit me. But and actually I really haven't been changing anything, but what was interesting was I looked at my weight the last couple of months because I really hadn't thought I'd been losing anything. But then I looked at the trend and I still was losing like about a pound or two every month. It's just because it isn't coming off as fast. It just didn't feel like it was. So, but the last week, for whatever reason, it seems to have started to come off again. I don't know why. I mean, eating the same stuff generally. But yeah, down to 218. So I was at right around 220 for a while.
Nice.
So let's see, what else do we got in the chat? Zendesk has a remote support app that will work with Android and iOS. Kind of flaky connectivity. Interesting. The double goat was classic. Are they talking about last night?
Oh, the intro for that video.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah, I watched your struggles last night.
Yeah.
After the fact, because I was actually last night my daughter had she like is in like this music school type thing. And so they had like it was more like a concert as opposed to a recital. But they were it was punk. Her
Nice.
group is all punk music, and so yeah, she sang 2 of the songs. So,
Sweet.
And she plays bass. So that was really fun to watch. In fact, that reminds me, I got to upload. Actually, it probably already has uploaded automatically. But I need to put her in a spot where I can share them with her. In Google. So. Yeah.
Should get you a Zima Cube, man. A Zima Cube?
Yep, I'm familiar.
You should definitely get one of those. I've got a lot of my YouTube videos on there, like all the footage that I did for Can-An and some footage that I'm doing for Flux. I just put it on the Zima Cube and hit share, and I get a link, and I send a link, and they can download it directly from my NAS on my network. No nice. Google inner middleman or nothing. It all just, and it's encrypted end to end. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
Well, wouldn't I be able to do that with Unraid anyway?
I'm not sure. Can you do that in Unraid?
I think I can. And I know that there are ways. I mean, you have basically set up your own like Google at home.
Yeah.
So all your pictures and stuff get uploaded, and I know you can share that the same way you can do Google. So I thought about doing that as well. I know shoot, what the heck's his name? Network Chuck. He's got a video on that.
Yeah.
So that's another home lab project that I'd like to do.
Nothing but time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing but time. Nothing but time to think about these cool projects to do. Just no time to actually do them.
My problem with that, and I was looking in that over this weekend too, on how ways to hold myself accountable for being more productive, specifically around YouTube and studio stuff. And a lot of it, and of course I'm talking to my therapist GPT, right? And a lot of the recommendations are like, do the work when you're most motivated. And I'm like, I'm working. I'm at my day job at that time,
Right,
so
exactly. Yep.
It's kind of difficult to just like stop what I'm doing for 2 hours and then do my own little thing. And I don't know.
That's what I really liked about working nights, because I was more motivated in the morning to do things. So for me, like my initial plan was, when I was working second shift, was record over the weekend as I'm motivated in the morning to edit. And I was like, cool, get up in the morning, have my coffee, get in here and edit. But after a full week at work, Saturday mornings, I don't feel like doing anything on Saturday morning. I just want to chill out. And there was a full weekend of that this weekend, because last week was a rough week at work. But had, just like I said, it was just really nice just to sit out on the back patio, have a cup of coffee, sit out there for a couple hours, talking to the wife, watching YouTube videos. She was crocheting, just, I don't know, just really, really enjoying. Actually, I talked to the neighbor for a little bit yesterday. I don't know. It was just really, really nice to kind of relax and, I don't know, interact with people. Went out to a bar last night for dinner after the show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know. Right.
College boy again. Jeez.
Well, it kind of felt that way because it was all my daughter's friends.
Oh,
it was
that's cool.
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5 of her friends went to dinner with us. So, it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. So yeah, driving to the city, God, it was like an hour and 15 minutes to get in and about an hour to get out. So that kind of sucks, but
yeah, I went to Micro Center yesterday, so I feel you. It was like an hour and a half drive.
Yeah,
and then another hour and a half drive.
Yeah, yours is a long drive, but at least you're moving.
Well, until you get closer to the city on 94, like.
Oh, you didn't take 294?
Oh, I don't know. I jumped on. I took whatever fucking Google told me to take. I'm pretty sure it was 94 all the way down.
Oh, you went to the Chicago store, not
Chicago and not the Westmont store. Yeah. Should I have gone to the Westmont store?
I would suggest going to the Westmont store just for the pure fact of the taxes lower.
Oh, well, fuck.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now you tell me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know you were going to the Chicago store. I did know you were going to Micro Center because you mentioned it, but yeah. I would go to the Westmont store. Plus, I'm sorry to say, if anybody from Micro Center hears this, the people at Westmont are way nicer. Way nicer. I have not had great experience with the people in the Chicago store. Not saying that it's been all bad, but I've had a lot better experiences. The last experience I had with the Chicago store, I will say, was a good experience. I was picking up a bunch of Seasonic Prime power supplies that were on sale, and I worked with them to say, hey, look, I bought these other ones and you have a 30-day, guaranteed price. Can you refund this back? And there was no questions asked. Yeah, no problem. And so they basically took the credit.
Wait, what? Hold on. So if you get a lower price on a product you bought within the first 30 days, they'll refund you that amount.
Yep.
You have to be in person to ask for that?
Yes.
Well, shit.
As far as I know, you have to be in person. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure. I was in person.
Okay.
Because I was buying something else. So basically, they took all the money off and they took that credit and put it towards the power supplies I was buying.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, but it saved like close to $300.
Oh, shit.
A lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I had bought 4 1600 watt power supplies. So yeah, that's,
that adds up.
$70. Yeah. It was like right around $70 per power supply. Yeah.
Wow.
That makes sense. But yeah, I was like happier than a pig in shit when I found all that out. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Cause it saved a ton of money, doing that. But yeah. So anyway, all right, let me go back to the chat. Retro Mike says, I tried withdrawing several, obviously, Xeggex tried withdrawing several days before, and they told me they were in maintenance until Thursday, and then bam, Thursday, the withdrawal request after 4 days officially got canceled. Yeah, wow, that sounds like a cop out. That's really sucks. Tebow, love punk, Gabba Gabba. Run Nextcloud. Yeah, that's what Network Chuck, I'm pretty sure that's what he was installing. And
they have a share with public link in Nextcloud too. That's right.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's probably what I will end up using. But for this one, I mean, it's my daughter. I mean, I don't care if she knows my email address.
Whatever. You can email it, or you can put it in OneDrive or Google Cloud or something. If it's just, I had to share 260 gigs of 4K footage with Canon, so I can't put that in Google or OneDrive. I mean, without paying. I guess I could pay for a terabyte of OneDrive, but it'll take me just as long to upload it as it would be for them to just download it from my machine.
With this phone that I got near the beginning of the year, so I probably got about 6 months left, but I got the 2 terabyte service for free. So right now I got 2 terabytes worth of storage, which I'm using about 7%. So
is that the Pixel?
Yeah, the Pixel,
the 9 Pro XL.
The 9 Pro XL. Yep.
How do you like it?
I like it. It has its quirks. Every phone has its quirks. I push my phones. I ask it to do more than most other people. I'm constantly you have more than one app going on the phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you probably know the same thing. Occasionally your phone will work a little wonky, and I'm in the market for another phone now. I got this pretty much when we moved here like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, maybe a month after we moved here, and it's not even a flagship. I'm like, fuck it, as long as it's got a decent camera that I can do shorts or TikToks and stuff with, that's really all I need. Everything else, it's not that big a deal. But I do miss my Motorola though. it had a lot of like cool haptics, like you could like do this with the phone and make the camera
Yeah.
go on. And,
My daughter had that. She had that set to the flashlight. You could do that, and it would turn the flashlight on or something. Yeah, you'd like, and yeah.
Now this one has a cool haptic. Let me see if I can get it to work. All right, let me try it a different way. There it is.
Oh, okay.
You double tap it. There we go.
Just smack it.
Well, it's a timing thing. So I've like been trying to figure out like different timings that work. And so for me, it's like dump da dump. That tap seems to work most of the time. But I've also found that if I put my finger on it and tap the other finger, for whatever reason, that seems to put more of the vibration through the phone that it needs. And then the other part is being on this part of the phone right there, like just below where the flash is, also helps. So
Interesting.
I've been playing around with it, but it's kind of cool. It's frustrating though when you're like, yeah, I got the flashlight on. Okay, I'm done with you. And you're trying to like have it turn off. Like, turn off already. Then you just go into the drop down menu and turn it off manually. But I don't know. I like it.
I don't know. I've been on Samsung since the Galaxy S9. So long time.
See, I'm just not a Samsung fan myself. I like more of the generic.
Oh yeah, Google's vanilla Android. Yeah.
The other thing I really like about Google is the fact that you get the latest releases much faster.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, mine just updated to One UI 7 and Android 14 like a month ago.
Android 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm on.
I think it was 14.
15. I'm pretty sure I'm on Android 15. In fact, I have to do an update. Let's see. Is it going to tell me that? No, I guess it doesn't tell me that here. Oh no, I'm actually on Android 16. So,
oh, I'm on. It was 15 and One UI 7.
Hey, you can't possibly be on 14.
Yeah, no, it was on. So that's right. So 15. It upgraded to 15 like 2 months ago, and One UI 7 last month or earlier this month.
Got it.
But it's just an A54. It's not even the S Galaxy S or anything.
So the other thing I was going to talk about tonight. So I was on. Well, I wasn't on his show this time, but I was in the chat. But Mind Some 10 has a live stream on Sunday afternoons. Usually at 3:00. Well, you were on it, you know.
Yeah, I saw it. I caught part of it. I got there a little late. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the end part where they were talking about retrofitting an Octominer?
I started. Yeah, that was about the time I clicked off and went and started doing other things. But yeah, they were talking about like creating a kit, essentially that they could. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really hope it works for them. That's great. I love repurposing old gear, but at the same time, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze, kind of thing.
That's the thing. So obviously, I don't think you're going to save any money on the hardware that goes into the Octominer, but could it work and be good? That's the real question. Or are you better off just buying an all-in-one server with the motherboard and everything already in it? And that's, I guess, the real question. But I mean, it's got the fans. You could lay it out in such a way by getting the risers.
Well, I mean, if you're not, and I guess it depends on the form factor. Like I've got a 42U 19-inch rack, right? And I've got the 4U mining server cases that have, the 3 big 120 mil fans on the front, and they're 28 inches deep or whatever. And they're great if you have like 4 or 6 GPUs. The Octominers are great if you have like 8 or 12 GPUs, but it's the same length or the same form factor, just this way. So my intention was to get those, put ready rails on them so I can slide them in and out of the rack itself. And then I sold all my GPUs and bought a Jeep. So now I don't really need them, but that was my intention, is to do exactly that and kind of repurpose that old gear, but use it for AI, and just have 3 in one and 3 in another of the 3090s. And then I had a third one that I was going to load up with 3060 12 gigs and just put them in the rack and have all the airflow flowing out. Actually, I was going to blow out the front and suck because it's like up against the concrete wall. So I'd suck all that cold air off of the concrete wall and in through the servers, and then blow it out the front of the server cage.
Interesting. So you still have that hardware?
Yeah, I was just looking at it yesterday. Like, maybe I should sell that.
I'm thinking, make me an offer, man.
We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do a trade. Do some tradesies.
That works.
I told you I've got that 19-inch. I think it's a 7U. It might be a 9U wall mount rack for you when I bring over that backup hardware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like one of the network ones that you see like on the wall, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've definitely seen those. In fact, when I was
10U, that's what it was. Because at first I thought it was a 10-inch rack, and I got it, and it was a 19-inch rack, but 10U, and I'm like, whoa, I don't need this. And now it's
Are
just
you sure it's not a 10-inch rack with a 19U?
No. That's what I was hoping it was.
Right.
And 10 with the big ass. Yeah, but no, it wasn't like that.
Got it. Sorry, I still think that intro was absolutely golden.
Good.
Yeah, it's how have the views been on that?
I don't know. I'll have to check. I mean, it wasn't like astronomical or anything.
I would think if YouTube got like there was enough that YouTube got a hold of it and pushed it. I think that hook is really good. But hell,
about 300 views. So not
Okay.
too bad.
That's not too bad.
For what? A couple days? 2 days? 300 views in 2 days? That KVM mini KVM video I did pretty well too. Got about 1,800 on it.
Nice. Yeah, I've stopped doing any of my now that I had the 10,000. Like I said, I was trying to do that for the fundraising stream. And now that I've stopped that, yeah, I'm losing subs at this point because I'm sure there were probably some bots in there that YouTube is taking out, and I'm not getting as many views. But the good thing about it is that now at least I know what views I am getting are real. And I did learn that.
Way to look at it.
Where are they getting the views from when you do actually promote your videos? Argentina, South America, and the Philippines. That's it.
Oh, okay.
If you leave those two countries out, you're not going to do as well with the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're going to do it, make sure you include all the South American countries and include the Philippines especially.
Yeah. Interesting.
They must be like crazy there. Like literally when I had the Philippines, and it was mainly the Philippines too, but when I had the Philippines on there, I think it was almost, I don't know if it was it over 80% of my views? I mean, it was something really, really high. And I'm like, I know that 70%, over 70% of my views, my subscribers, all that kind of stuff, are not from the Philippines. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the built-in YouTube promotional thing? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Exactly. Swamp 7 is here. Sorry, I will get back to you, Swamp 7. I was preparing for the stream when you sent me that message, so I will get back to you. 0 point. It doesn't fit into a standard rack.
The Octominer.
Oh, yeah, I know the Octominer doesn't. Yeah, I knew that.
Well, it does sideways, right? If you take the handles off the front, and you have a shelf, you can slide it in. So, I mean, I guess technically if you've got a rack and you move it sideways, you can still stack them that way, but you just get a shelf at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the server rack is to save space. And for maintenance, that's why I wanted to get rails on it, so that maintenance, I can pull it out, rip the top off, dig in it and start working in it, put it all back together and slide it in. I don't have to pull the entire rack out or like pull this thing out and balance it and sit it on a shelf and unconnect all the things. You just pull it out like it's a server and work on it and put it right back in like it's a server.
Yeah. I was planning on when I do expand, that I would just put another like wire rack, like heavy duty wire rack next to it. They've been working well, and I had the Octominer on there for the longest time. So they're very sturdy. So I'm not worried about that. Let's see. Just buy a StarTech or Silverstone 3 or 4-year case for $100 to $200 and be done. Really?
I bought my 42U rack for $279.
Well, he's talking about. He's not. Oh, I see. No, he was talking. Not.
Oh, you're talking about the server case. I got you. Yeah.
Case. And I was like, I know StarTech makes the racking as well.
Yeah, that's essentially what I have is this a knockoff Silverstone 4U case.
Okay.
And they were on eBay for $100 a pop. And I bought one and I did some shorts on it. And I think, the buyer reached out to me, or the seller reached out to me and was like, hey, if you sell a bunch of these, I'll give you one for free. I'm like, okay. So I think I did 2 or 3 other shorts or videos I mentioned them and I put links out there and I showed, with the tracking links and whatnot, how many went to it and all this, and asked them how, and they sent me one for free. And then I bought another one. So I got 3.
Nice. So speaking of that, how did you get in the Vine program, by the way? I have no idea about it.
Invite only.
Oh, really?
I review a lot of stuff I bought on Amazon, probably 21 to 22 to 23, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not like for the channel or anything. I just did reviews, just simple reviews. Sometimes I would take a picture or talk about my experience. Sometimes I'd just be like, it showed up and it was fluffy and it survived the trip, period. And I put it out there, and then they reached out and said, you qualify for the Vine program. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. But they just, they're changing the program now. You used to just be able to, so it's like a whole other website, but it's all Amazon, and it's whatever they decide is on Vine for that day, that week, or whatever. You have an option to go through it and see what's there. And if you meet minimum requirements, you can get up to an item valued at $100 and get like 3 items a day.
Okay. And
you have to leave a review on it. But it was, just a basic review. So I would just do the same thing. Hey, it arrived and it worked as expected, Now I got bumped up to the next tier and there's unlimited value. Like I got an e-scooter for my daughter that was like $400, and it showed up and we took pictures, and she's like, I didn't show her face, but she's on it, and like giving a thumbs up, and we show the picture of it all assembled and everything. And but now instead of just being like, oh yeah, it arrived and works as expected, they're going to make it a requirement. You have to have pictures or videos and give a detailed description and meet these categories in the description. So they're having you like actually put in the work and stuff.
Yeah.
But last year, I think 2024, I got over $10,000 in product.
Wow.
I have to pay tax on it.
Yeah, of course.
But the product itself was, So a large majority of random shit I have. A lot of camera gear, surprising lot of camera gear I got on Vine.
So here's an interesting conundrum. So you got the product. You didn't have to pay sales tax. Oh, I guess you didn't have to pay sales tax on it. So, okay, never mind. I was like,
they send you a thing at the end of the year that you file with your taxes, and you pay the tax on the value of what you've bought.
Got it. I was just sitting here thinking, like, is there a way you can deduct the taxes you have to pay on it? But I was thinking sales tax, but you don't have to pay sales tax. Well, that's not it. Anyway. Yeah, obviously that can,
I'm sure I could find a way to write it off, but it's not much.
Still hate paying taxes if there's a way to get out of it.
Yep.
Iota Pie is here. He was on
nice
the Mind Some 10 stream earlier today. So
yeah, he's out in Georgia.
Yeah, we were actually talking about the Q Cells plant that's out there that I actually went to in November because at the time the company I worked for was doing logistics in their facility and they were needing some assistance. So I went down there and helped out for a week. The place was fascinating. It was I say completely automated. There were certain parts in the process that were more prone to error. so they needed to have more people there to QC that particular area. I won't go into all the details because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but they have certain people in that particular area to do QC, and then they were even automating like the transport of the finished product, where they had automatic forklifts.
And that's manufacturing of panels.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Full from soup to nuts.
Huh.
You know, and what was interesting was I don't think I saw any product, any parts that were from China. Most of the stuff was from like Thailand and Malaysia and that type of thing. So from other parts of Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was, like I said, it was absolutely fascinating to watch them put the panels together. Yeah, it was cool. It was very, very cool. All, you know, and they had like 6 lines, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 different like parallel lines, and it was like it went in parallel, and then all of those product like shifted up, and then they'd have all these things in a row that were like picking up the sensors to the solar cells, and actually putting them on the panels. But it was all like at that point was like in series, but because of the timing that took, they would still just shuffle down, and then they would go back into a parallel line after that. So, and I was
Very
only
cool.
There were 2 buildings. I was only in one of the buildings, and then they would change like what type of panel they were building from time to time. So they weren't always building the same size panel and such. So speaking of solar panels, I almost forgot to talk about this. So I did finally subscribe to a community solar program, and we'll see how it goes.
So what's that? What does that mean?
So what that means is, again, because I'm on the hourly program. Well, shouldn't say that. It doesn't matter whether I'm on the hourly program or not. It just will matter. It'll matter that I'll still be able to take advantage of that program, I guess is my point. But what that means is that I subscribe to a certain number of panels. I subscribe to 32 kilowatts. That's 80 panels of 400 watt panels. So very sizable systems, nothing like I could put in my backyard. So I have 80 panels, and whatever they generate, I will get an offset credit on my bill at the standard rate. That's what they will put to my bill, but I will only get charged 80% of that. So I will pay them 80% of what I'm getting a credit for. So basically I'm paying for power at 80 cents on the dollar.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, this is why I'm not like pushing like any particular provider at this point. I signed up for a provider. I'm gonna see how it goes. They gave me the login and everything, and I went to it, and I'm like, okay, this is the solar farm. It doesn't look like it's produced anything since February. There's no record of anything since February, and for a good portion of last year, there's a gap. So I'm like, okay, yes, I'll pay 80 cents on the dollar, but if it produces nothing, it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't hurt me, except for the fact that I could be saving money through somebody else.
Yeah.
So it really made me start thinking that 32, those 80 panels, that 32 kilowatt, that's still probably, will not produce 100% of what I would need. And so thinking that I will do maybe 1, maybe 2 more subscriptions, because you can have multiple community solar providers, and then do a comparison, and then whoever I feel like is the best, then consolidate to that one most likely. But we'll see. Let's see. I'm going back to the chat here. What did I miss here? Missed a bunch of things, I think. Retro Mike, this guy knows way better option. Only thing Octominer gives you is redundant PSUs. Oh, that's Swamp 7. Oh, and Caw Valley Crypto said ordered a 10-inch rack. Now I need stuff to put in it. And IotaPie said, yes, sir. A couple of installers were pushing their panels, but makes more sense now. They have the microinverters built into the panels. Yeah.
Those are sweet. Yeah. So like when I had all my panels, it was all straight DC and would go into my inverter, and everything, went from DC on all the multiple panels in I think 8-gauge wire, and then I brought it down to 4-gauge wire at the combiner box, at the joiner box with all the fuses and stuff, and then ran that back out to the shed. So having the microcontrollers really helps to be able to use thinner wires, longer runs, all of that stuff.
Yeah, AC obviously goes over a longer distance. That's why we have AC power instead of DC power. That's the whole Edison versus Tesla argument.
The more you know.
Yes, the more you know. But the biggest problem with, what you had was probably a perfect situation. No optimizers, no microinverters, because what fails? That's what fails. The microinverter or the power optimizer. And guess what? In most cases, it's on the roof.
Yeah.
So now you got to have a way to get up there. Most of the installers are out of business. So I have one power optimizer out of my 19 panels. So one panel is not producing yet.
Oh, wow.
So I called a guy that was kind of like, he was nice enough to like give me some of his time for free. Just a super nice guy, older guy like me. And he basically said, wait until you have at least 3 optimizers out before having anybody come out, because otherwise you're wasting your money. You'll never get that money back, because it's going to cost a pretty penny to get somebody to go up there, start taking
up there
off. Yeah, because they're going to have to figure out exactly where it is. And I've got like 2 layers that are like landscape, and then the top layer is like, no, sorry, the bottom 2 layers are like portrait, and then the top layer is landscape. So I got 3 levels of panels. So if it's in the middle anywhere, you're going to have to work your way into it to get so are each of your panels producing independently then, which means if one of them breaks, it's not in series and it doesn't impact the others, or if like a tree shade or something goes over one, it doesn't impact the entire. Yeah, right. That's what the power optimizers do on an inverter system. Yes,
those are nice. Yeah, mine was not set up that way. I had 4 strings, so I just had 1 string on, and then another string under it, and then on the shed I had 1 string, and the other side of the roof I had the other string. So if one of those went out, or a cloud went over one, it would impact the output from the entire series.
It does. It definitely does do that. But with where my panels are, for the most part, it wouldn't have had much effect. They don't get shaded during really the top of the day. So basically, they're facing our next door neighbor's house. We have, and it faces southeast. We have a tall tree that's in the front yard on both sides of the driveway. So, but they're not tall enough or dense enough to really have any effect on any of the panels.
Yeah.
Later in the day they do, but I mean, you're talking where the sun's setting anyway. So what are you generating at that point? Maybe you're generating 300 watts at the most out of, when you're normally generating like 4 to 5 kilowatts in the heart of the day, at that point, who cares?
Yeah.
So not a big deal. IotaPie did ask, so the risk for community power is, what if there's super cloud coverage and the farm doesn't produce? There isn't. So that's a great question, because it was a question I had, because I was like, how are you paying for this? Are you paying for a set amount each month for the panels, or are you paying for the power that produces? And the key is, you're paying for the power that it produces. So there's no risk. If you wanted to stay status quo, not do community solar, that's fine. You're going to pay what you're going to pay. But with community solar, whatever it produces is gravy at that point. You're going to save money on any amount it does produce. Of course, you're only allowed in the state of Illinois, you're only allowed to subscribe to up to 110% of your of what you have used in the last 12 months. So you can't just, go all out and just get like these huge credits. The other risk though also is, if you do like oversubscribe, remember, you're paying for how much it produces. if you don't use as much power, you're still paying them for that. You're just going to have a credit on your electric bill that eventually, hopefully, will get used during the winter. Kind of like similar to a regular solar system. But I've only done 32 kilowatts. Figure it'll produce somewhere in the range of around 5 kilowatts. Well, I've generally been using about 6 to 6.5. So yeah. Anyway, but we'll see. It usually can take up to 3 months for it to get active. So they've already assigned me to a farm, so I'm hoping that it'll only be a month or 2 instead of 3. So we'll have to see. We will have to see. He says, IotaPie says, this is good advice. Label which optimizer is on which panel. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very smart thing to do. I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out. The problem is I only have one string for the 19 panels. It's one string. So it's a matter of how did they do this? How did they wire it? I have a feeling that it's going to be, from so like it comes up the back of my house and then it'll probably do over, and then over again would be my guess. That's how I would wire it if I was them. But I don't know that for sure, but hopefully they will be able to kind of get a look at how it's wired. And IotaPie, if you want another suggestion, although you're down in, well, you guys get ice storms down there.
Very rare.
Very rare. Okay.
Well, depending on where in Georgia, but yeah, I mean, so Dahlonega, so it wouldn't snow, but if it did anything, it would ice, but it wouldn't be ice storms. It would just be like a fucking sheet of ice over everything.
Okay, so you guys wouldn't get ice dams or anything like that. Yeah, my problem was when they just ran the conduit from the panels. They ran it like about 6 inches above the gutter, straight over to the edge of the roof, and then down, then through the gutter. Through the gutter's fine. That's no big deal. But running it 6 inches above the gutter, and you get warm days and then cold days and then warm days. Well, what do you think's cold? That conduit. So anytime something would melt from up on the roof along the edge, it would hit the conduit and freeze. And then, so I ended up with this big piece of ice on the edge. And thankfully, my installer was still in business at that point. And, well, the sales company was still in business, and the installer was a separate company. And they wanted to kind of get back in with them because I guess there had been like a falling out. So he's like, hey, this is actually good timing. Let me see what I can get done. Because they were like, no, this isn't our fault, whatever. That's the way they initially came back. Then when I got them involved, they're like, yeah, they've agreed to come out. So all they had to do was, instead of running it there, was, oh, you know what? I take it back. It was actually, they ran it down to the edge right above the gutter. That's what they did. Then they, in this case, this time, they ran it straight across and then down the edge. And then it's been fine ever since. And we've had some similar events. And then the other part to keep in mind, make sure you have a strong gutter system. Either that or put in, again, if you have snow, put in like brakes. Like there's like little bumpers you can put between the panels, the top down. And so that'll slow down the snow. Now, the other part of it is that also, it slows down the snow. So there's your snow, you're gonna have snow.
You won't be producing. Yeah.
You're gonna have snow on your panel for a longer period of time, but you also won't kill your gutter. So we actually had to have that upper gutter replaced, but it was a weak gutter system. It was, you know, how most gutter systems, you actually have like a piece of wood that the gutter like goes up against. This wasn't like that. This was like a flashing that went up under. And so it was metal there, and the back of it was metal, but there was no backing to it.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it was the
like
front.
hanging.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when it hit it, there wasn't anything for it to leverage against, and it just bent to hell.
Oh, geez.
So we just had that replaced about a year ago. Yeah, it was. So we went through this past winter without a problem. Of course, I did that, and we had like almost no snow. Well, you know, We had almost
Yeah.
no snow this past year.
Yeah.
So there was certainly no worries about that this year. But did have my best solar winter ever. Right now though, June was, with all the fires from Canada, that's hurt, and we just had a little bit more in the way of cloudy days. So we were nowhere near as sunny as we were most Junes. I think if tomorrow's a sunny day, I think I'll get about little over 80% of what I normally get in a June. So yeah, it was not a great June.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that the smoke travels all the way down this far from Canada. Yeah, it was weird to see, like, Chicago was, like, downtown Chicago was like,
yep,
very, like, almost foggy, but
yep.
it was smoke. It was like a dark fog, red fog.
This was a really weird year because we had that, and then we had the dust storm.
That too, yeah.
I mean,
that's right.
I've lived here for a really long time. I have never seen that, never. And you could see it on radar, all the dust coming up.
I remember that because we went down to a concert at that time, and we were eating at a Greek place and looking outside, and it was just like, it was dusty as can be, and the wind was kicking, and it was like, wow, it was wild.
Yeah, that definitely was wild. Well, guys, we have been going almost 2 hours. You guys got any more questions? And anything else you want to talk about there, Geek?
So I got all the gear. I got a new i9 and motherboard and GPU. I got a 5060 Ti. I got all that stuff at Micro Center yesterday. And the only other thing I need to go get, and I'm going to grab it at Walmart tomorrow when I'm there, is SSD, because they've got the Western Digital Black 2 terabyte for like $100. Like,
wait,
yeah, at Walmart. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go pick one of those up tomorrow. I might pick up 2, but because it's got 3 NVMe slots in it, but one of them does NVMe or SATA, and I've got a spare 1 terabyte SATA drive, so I'll use that like as a cache kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just throw it there, like, hey, I found a use for it. Great. And then set in my primary drive. But anyway, I was thinking tomorrow after work, because my wife's going camping all week, I might build that live on stream tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
And just take a couple hours and hang out and like set up the cameras, put in the laptop. Because I've got my the place where I did that video where I had myself right next to myself, is actually right outside my basement, this room in my basement. And you saw it, right? When you came downstairs. Well, that was before I built the walls and stuff. But I have where I had my desk, like right on the other side of where I have my desk. I've cleared it all out, and I've got a studio with like lights and multiple cameras and all that. It's all like an actual freaking.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know which video it was. It might have been last night's video, or a different video where you actually were showing like the different rooms in the basement. And I can.
Oh, that's right.
Place it. I can still place like, oh yeah, I remember that room. Oh, okay, that's where that is. That's where that is. So yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna get the cameras all set up and linked, so that I can do multi cameras in either OBS or something, and live stream it. And the audio might work the first time, tomorrow. We'll see.
So here's the thing with what you were dealing with. I was like, of course, I wasn't live, so I couldn't say anything. But I was just like, did you ever figure out what was wrong?
Yeah. So normally when I join, I do the audio output from my speakers.
No, but here's the thing. So let me just see if this is correct. So there's when you go into settings and you go into audio settings, you have the ability to set monitor, output, or both. And I was wondering if that was the problem.
In what? In stream? Oh, in OBS. No. So the problem wasn't in OBS. The problem was in StreamYard, because I was using the Go XLR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I needed to turn my output. I needed the audio to come through the headphones. And instead of jumping the audio from my desktop over through the Go XLR, I just threw on headphones, because I doubled. Like the whole time I was talking, I heard my own voice all night.
Okay.
And so if I'd have done that, it would have doubled everything and just drove me nuts. And probably everybody else, because they wouldn't have been able to hear it through the mic. So I don't know. Next time I'll just do it through StreamYard
Yeah.
and just let it do its bullshit.
Use this Video Ninja. It's free.
I'll look into that. I was looking into Restream as well because it's free.
Is it? Okay, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, so it's free up to streaming 3 platforms at once. So my intention was YouTube and Twitter. But I just focus on YouTube for actual comment and then Twitter for just being a degen and pointing people over to YouTube.
Yeah, I started to go through that because with OBS you can do stream elements and multi-stream through OBS. So I had done that a few times. Then I was like, you know what? I just need to focus on working on YouTube and forget about all this other crap at this point. Put out, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. So that's why I was just like, no, not even gonna worry about it. But like I said, I found this Video Ninja and I was worried as hell about it when I was doing the fundraising stream, and I was just so shocked at how easy this is to use. I set up a scene in Video Ninja. You set up a virtual camera that you have to then move over to like the site, the Video Ninja site. Once you've done that, and then you have to make one other small adjustment with audio to make sure it's not doubling me. So basically I need to turn off my mic because the mic is going to come through Video Ninja audio, just like yours is. And then once I've done that, because if you noticed earlier, they were like, no, you're doubling. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got to mute my mic in OBS. But it literally didn't take any time at all. And it's only the second time I've done it. And the next time it'll be even quicker because I'll remember all those things the next time.
So you're still using OBS. You're just filtered through Video Ninja.
Correct. I have a scene called Video Ninja. In Video Ninja, it actually has a link that you then put as a scene, not a scene, but a source.
Yeah. My problem, I was using OBS to screen capture StreamYard. And so I was able to put an overlay over the watermark, so I can, No, I don't really give a shit.
That's what Chump does.
Yeah. But Swamp 7, I got the i9 12900K. I was going to go with the 14900, but I hear there's a lot of issues with it, thermal throttling, and it's just not. And then they're jumping to the Ultra series, like the Ultra 7s and the Ultra 9s.
Right.
And apparently those just don't perform as well in what I want to use it for video editing and DaVinci and CapCut. And I might get into playing with Premiere. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but we'll see.
Why would you do that if you're familiar with DaVinci and you've paid for DaVinci?
I have paid for DaVinci. I've paid for CapCut too.
Yeah, but CapCut's still, you can cancel CapCut at any time. There's not like you don't have a
lifetime. Well, I paid a year in advance, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
A year at a time. It's like $80.
Yeah, but see, CapCut's really great for like shorts.
All of my videos have been edited in CapCut. So the main thing I use DaVinci for, all the videos in the last probably 4 or 5 months. Mostly what I use DaVinci for is color correction and audio correction. So that mic that I have, that little lapel mic, is really on the low end. So I throw it into DaVinci and I change the EQ settings because CapCut doesn't have a custom EQ. And then I'll take out background noise and kind of optimize the volume. And then I'll export it as an MP3 because it's brought in from my lapel mic as a WAV file. MP3 will compress it, make it much smaller. And then I just throw everything into CapCut, and it's really cool. It's got a multi-camera option. So I can take, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, plus the audio, sync them all together, trim the ends, and then say, make this a multi-cam video. And it'll put it all on one line. And then I've got 4 boxes on the screen, and I just hit play. And I'm like, okay, camera 2. Okay, camera 3, and it'll clip it right there and like switch over to camera 2 and then switch over to camera 3. And that's made my editing process a lot faster. And I do that, like I go through once and just listen to it and I'll be like, okay, 1, 3, 1, 2, whatever, and kind of go through. And then I go back, select it all and hit transcript. And it transcribes everything and I take out the ahs and ums. And then I go through it again and I do a little bit of trimming here and there, make that longer, make that one shorter. and then I go in and put B-roll on top of it or whatever else I need to do to make it fancy.
Yeah, see, I've been using Descript and it has a lot of those same features.
Yeah.
Like I said, I enjoy editing now because it's just so much easier. It automatically transcripts everything. Yeah, it takes out the ahs and the ums. I can say make a YouTube description. It makes the YouTube description with timestamps on it already. It will create thumbnails, but I don't use that for thumbnails. I've been using if you haven't checked out vidIQ recently, check it out. I really like their new thumbnail making thing. I've been learning a lot more about what the trends are with thumbnails, and key is fewer words, simpler. Don't have like a ton of different objects or anything like that. So like the one I have now is probably a busier one than it's definitely busier than the other ones, but I thought it looked cool, so I put it up there anyway. But that's kind of an odd. The one I had for tonight was a little bit different than the other ones it was doing. But yeah, I had a whole bunch of videos made for the backup NAS video, so I already have the thumbnails made for that. So I did a whole. Here's what I need is organization, because what I did was I have a bunch of content that's already recorded. I have a bunch of thumbnails that are made for those videos, but I don't have anything recorded from beginning all the way from beginning to end. I created like the meat of it, but didn't do the intro or the outro to it. So I need to do that. I need to create the hook, provide a little bit of an intro to the video, and then let the video go. So I still have the content. It's still relevant. I just need to get in there and make the additional content. And
what I've started doing, like with the mini server rack videos and like some of the home lab stuff, is I'll do the project and I'll document everything, and then I'll put that walkthrough on GitHub. And in the video, I'll just talk about it and kind of point to it and reference things and whatever, and say the full walkthrough is on my GitHub, link below, buy me a coffee, whatever. And then that way it like takes a lot of the stress of me doing the project, fucking up, stopping the camera, going back, troubleshooting, figure it out, starting the camera again, picking up where I left off, fucking up again. I just like, I go through, I create the project. It doesn't matter how much I fuck up and then have to go back and fix it. When it's all said and done, I'll then take whatever I've done, put it into ChatGPT and say, spin this to a walkthrough in GitHub format, and it'll put the hashtags, it'll put, you know, the asterisks to make it bold and separate all of the sections and everything. And I just kind of got to tweak it a little bit and then fucking copy paste, create new readme.md, and good to go. And then I'll go through and I'll create the video, and I'll use that walkthrough guide to talk about the parts in the video and say, don't forget to mention, you know, this part where I had trouble troubleshooting and this is how I fixed it. Don't forget to mention this. And I've really liked, and I've done this recently, the last couple of videos, including that mini TT or the Rackmate TT video. When I'm using ChatGPT, one, I use GPT 4.5 because it's a little bit more creative and less analytical, but you have very limited uses on it. It's kind of like O3 where you've got so many per month or whatever. So I kind of save those, but I just, you hit the little microphone button and I fucking talk to it. And I just like say everything, save my fingers time, and I'll just sit there and spit it all out, all the uhs and ums and waits and pauses, and talk to myself, and then go back. And then I hit it and go through, and like the whole conversation will go back and forth, and I'll say, great, create an 8-minute video script for this, word for word. I'll export it, put it into Google Docs, and then read it to myself and say, no, that doesn't sound like me, and go through and change it. And then I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. And then I just take that, and I've got an app on a tablet, little 10-inch cheap Android tablet, that's the teleprompter scrolling. And I just hit play on it, and I put it on the teleprompter, and I stand up and go.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much do everything sitting at my desk, but that right there is my teleprompter, and right below it that you guys can't see is a screen. Like right now, I'm looking at myself talking back at me.
Do you have one of the Elgato teleprompters?
So if I had to do over again, I would get that.
That's what I was looking at. Is one of the, maybe not the Elgato because it's like almost $300 now.
It's
but
still worth it.
It's got the built-in screen. My only problem is that it hangs off the camera, and I don't want to do that to my lenses. I don't want to do that to my mounts. I would rather have something small that the camera sits on. Like my teleprompter is fucking huge, but the camera sits on it. It can slide back and forth, and it's got like the shroud that goes around it.
Yep, that's
and then the whole teleprompter piece. But it's monstrous, and it's heavy, and it's bulky. And I can't use the swing arm that I have. I've got one of those like mic swing arms that right now my camera is sitting on, that's mounted on the wall, and the teleprompter can't sit on that. It's just too heavy. Yeah. So I'd like to get a lighter one so that I can do those teleprompters here at my desk instead of having to like a lot of setup. I got to pull the desk out, put the teleprompter on a tripod behind the desk, and it's a real pain in the ass. Or do everything back here with the teleprompter there.
Right. So the one I have is from Newer. And my thing I would recommend, though, is getting a smaller one. The one I got was a little big.
But you have the screen built into it?
No, it's not built into it. I have. Okay. So you have the ability, with all teleprompters, you have like the legs that kind of come out that you can hold a screen on that then shows. A phone, a tablet, whatever.
Yeah.
I got an external monitor. I think it's a 7-inch, and I just have that tied into the computer, and then it's a fourth monitor.
It's just a spare monitor, yeah. Right.
So you have to basically working through OBS and through Windows, you basically like flip it, and invert it.
Yeah.
So you flip it on one, you invert it on the other one.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it if you want to use it as an extra monitor, or you can do both of those things just by saying flip it in OBS, which is what I don't even use it as another monitor anymore. I just use it for OBS. I have it on all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I did that for a while. I had a little portable 15-inch screen that like folds out and flips, and I just kept it flipped over. Right. And that's how I used it. But there was actually a teleprompter website where you would just drag and drop or copy paste from Google Docs or whatever into the website, and it could flip and invert the words and the same type of thing. My big thing now, and you can probably see it in some of the videos that I've done, and you can definitely see it in the one I'm putting out hopefully tomorrow. I've got a remote, but it's not like start stop. It's like I have to move the controller, and it jumps the screen instead of scrolls the screen. So instead of being like if I'm right up here and I'm talking to it and I've got it here, I can just reach up and like go back on the tablet and like scroll on the tablet. But because I'm way back here doing it and I've got a remote, I like flip back up and down, and it's kind of annoying.
See, in my teleprompter scene, I have me in the background, but I also have a text file or text where I can copy and paste a text into it and limit the width of it to make sure I'm not reading all the way out to the edges.
Yeah.
So it's limited in the middle. And then I can set a speed at which it scrolls. Now I can leave that window open so that if it goes too fast, I can slow it down if I can figure out how to work fast enough. Otherwise, I'll just have to stop it and then just have a cut and figure it out from there. But what I've been doing though is just taking it kind of phrase by phrase. If I'm using it, word for word, I haven't actually been doing word for word lately. I've just been having like outlines up. But if I was doing word for word, I'd probably have like about 5 lines up there and make sure it's the end of a phrase, and then move it and then start over again with the next phrase, that type of thing. It just seemed to work better for me than having to worry about, oh shit, it's going too fast. Oh shit, it's going too slow. I need to be concentrating on the words I'm saying as opposed to the speed it's going. That's what's so nice about the one you were just talking about, the Elgato, is the fact that you can have pedals. And pedals will allow you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Pedals, and you can have it go forward or backward or speed it up or slow it down.
Yeah, Retro Mike's saying
again, I would absolutely get the Elgato prompter.
Really?
No question. It's just
Yeah, Chump's got that. Hawk's got that one too, doesn't he?
I have no idea.
I think that's the one Chump got too.
Okay.
And my thing with teleprompters, especially the way you guys use them, like you can kind of tell, like on Chump's screen, because if he goes to a white screen, because he's got an all black background,
Right.
He's in a dark room, you can kind of tell that he's looking through glass. It's got that like hazy
ambiance or something, because it will get that. That's one of the things when I record. If I'm recording at night, you can't tell, but because I can't get it all the way around the camera, otherwise the camera's going to overheat. I try to get it around the camera as much as I can, but I've got a window right here, and it's a sheer like curtain, so it's going to let light through. So yeah, if I record in the day, it makes it a little bit more difficult, and you can tell if you really paid attention.
It's interesting. I might look into that. My Retro Mike says the Elgato's all plastic. I know several people that just threw them away because it's not a good quality product and doesn't stabilize itself. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Hobbyist says his camera has a snap-in fan to keep it cool. I have one of those that I got for the ZVE10, because when it records in 4K, there's no onboard camera and it gets pretty warm. It was like $40. But it's battery power. It's got a built-in battery, but it's also got a USB charging port on it. So if I've got my V-mount battery that's got USB outputs, I can have USB going to the camera to keep it charging and USB going to the fan to keep it running as well. And then I can do BNC out to the monitor. Yeah, he's got the ZVE10. Yeah, same one. It's probably the same thing I got. Not Elgato. Not newer either. Damn it.
Well, now, hey, thanks, Retro Mike. Now you're making me feel better about my purchase. Like I said, it was a bit more expensive. Well, it was about the same price, but it didn't have the same usability as the Elgato teleprompter.
Ulanzi.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just like slides into the back, right where your camera, monitor flips out, and then it just sits in there and spring fits, and then you can just turn the fan on, and it's got 2 settings, and it makes a difference. Like, I don't know. I've started shooting everything in 4K now instead of doing 1080 and up to 4K. Like right now, I've got it on 4K streaming, so it's not recording, so it's going to get warm, but it's not going to overheat. Yeah, it's the same fan. Connect USB. Exactly.
Yeah, I actually should get that because I haven't started recording in 4K. I've only been recording in 1080p at this point. But I've talked about, obviously the Pocket 3 that I've got, that one always records in 4K. But it's nice because if you're recording something and you're a little bit further away, it's nice that you can zoom in, especially if you're doing something. I did do a video on reinstalling the Emporia, and by the way, just for anybody that was triggered by it, everything is in the panel. You can't see all the wires anymore. I actually put the cover on the panel. Can't say that I did a lot of cable management. Kind of just shoved the wires in there because there was plenty of room. But
yeah, I think I did the same thing when I did mine in Georgia. I just put everything at the bottom.
Yeah,
because it's got that little antenna that is like it's almost on a wire. So I just plugged it in through the top of the panel, on the other side of the wall, and then I actually 3D printed a piece that the controller like sat in, and then all of the little, ports plugged into it at the top, and then I pushed all of the wiring down at the bottom and bundled it and kind of, Velcro tied it and pushed it up under there.
Got it. Yeah, I know Velcro is used in the making of this, but no, I didn't even use that antenna. I just hardwired it into my router, into my switch down in the basement.
Oh, okay. Is that the Emporia 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I had the 2. I don't think it had.
Oh, it didn't have Ethernet? Oh, yeah.
No.
I think you're right.
I think it was just wireless. Because I got the Emporia 3 and I took the cover of the panel off, and it's too tight. I couldn't even get the mains in. It was just way too tight, so I sent it back.
Yeah, that's kind of the way my other one was. So the other one actually like came down and then went sideways into those where the mains went. Well, they're running right next to each other. So trying to get those CTs around each of them was difficult. I did manage to do it, but oh my God, this one was so much easier to install. There was more room to the side and there was more room on the top and there was more room on the bottom. It made it like so much easier.
Oh yeah, with the new panel. Yeah.
Yeah, so much easier. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
It's like cable porn.
Yeah, right. Now I wouldn't go that far because this was really messy. I suppose if you like, anyway, never mind. Not
so hobbyist, you have the E10 Mark II. I've got the E10 Mark I. I was thinking about getting a Mark II because my third camera is still the ZV-1, the little one, and it's just like looking at the quality between one to the other because I can put different glass on this. I need to get another 24 mil lens, but
see, hobbyist, I don't buy that. Yes, you got the teleprompter so you could look at your beautiful self as you were talking to your guest. I think that's what it is. That's what I do. That's what I do.
I just heard you call
here. I'm right here.
I just heard you call hobbyist beautiful. That's all I got out of this. Somebody clip that.
Might as well put a red panda and just leave your panel covers off. Professional. Yeah, I was told. So I really like the electrician that came through, but everybody is quirky in their own way, especially when it comes to what they know a lot about, and they will tell you stories about why you should do things a certain way. There's a reason why code is to have the cover on your electrical panel, because bad things can happen. And I had it uncovered for a long period of time because the first Emporia didn't fit very well. But I listened to what he had to say. He told me some pretty disturbing
I can imagine
stories that I will not go into because it's pretty sad, honestly. Anyway, point being is, scared me well enough to realize I should probably put the cover on it. So let's go ahead and do that. It only took me like 2 weeks to actually get the cover on it, but it was on it. I also had to wait. Once I got in the panel, I had to wait until they came through with the inspection. They put the cover on it when they left, but they had to come through with for the inspection. So then the electrician came in, took the cover off, and then he reinstalled it, and then I had to take it off after that. So it was a couple weeks after, but once I had it installed, it was a day later when I put the cover back on. I just wanted to make sure that everything was working properly and that I had all the circuits that I needed to be monitored. Now I'm still debating whether to change, because now that I have the air conditioner upstairs, it's now the bedroom didn't use any electricity, and now it does with the air conditioner. So I'm thinking about monitoring that one separately. And changing out from another one. I have the iron in the basement because when it's on, it's it draws a lot of power. You'd be surprised how much an iron pulls. But we don't use the iron that often, so I think I'm probably just gonna move that one back to the bedroom so that I'm tracking that. Anyway, we got a lot of circuits in the house, so no matter what I do, it's still gonna have about another consistent 200 watts that's coming from somewhere. Across all the other circuits in the house that aren't monitored. But Hobbyist Miner said, I went from ZV-1 to ZV-E10 Mark II, always matched my vlog and studio camera, so had 2 by ZV-1s, then upgraded to 2 by ZV-E10s. Use the ZV-1s now for different angles on shots and backups. Nice.
Yeah.
So, is there really that big of a difference between the ZV-E10 and the ZV-1 when you really come down to the final product of your video?
Yes.
In what way?
The ZV-E10 has interchangeable lenses, so you can put any Sony E-mount lens on it, whether it's APS-C or full frame. Like I've got Viltrox full frame lenses because my intention was to get an FX3 which is a full frame camera, or a ZVE1, which is a full frame camera. And then I could just use that same gambit of lenses across all of my cameras. When I feel like, oh, well, this one's for APS-Cs and whatever. But yeah, the video quality using better glass than what comes on the ZV1 is night and day. Like really? It really is. Yeah.
I think I will wait for a while before I invest.
Well, I mean, so this one, the ZVE10 Mark 1, the body alone, you can get them like open box for like $500.
Right.
But then you got to get glass.
Right.
And the glass that I got, the decent glass I got was around $300 a piece. And I got 3 of those. And then the kit lens is garbage, but it's better than nothing. It's got like an f-stop of 3.5 up to like 6.2 or 6.5, something like that. But if you're going to get another camera, depending on what you're going to use it for, like I would have gone back in time, saved a little bit more money and just bought an FX30 then instead of the E10. The benefit I like about the E10 is it's lighter than the FX30. So when I put it on my gimbal, I can do vertical shots all day. I can go back to horizontal and all at the push of a button. Put the FX30 on there, the gimbal's like, yeah, it won't go all the way for a full vertical shot.
Right.
So I've actually got to take it off and then reposition it and put it back on and rebalance it and all that shit. But how often do I use the gimbal? I've only used it at one event so far.
Right. Yeah, I'll wait for a little bit. I got to start creating more content first. And I've talked with people that basically like, look, a new camera may be nice and all, but it ain't going to make or break whether or not you're going to get views or not. It's more about sound and idea and content, overall content. That's what's going to really matter. So I'm going to focus on that for a while. If it starts, kind of taking off eventually.
Yeah. Considering the type of videos that we do, like, our circle does, a lot of how-tos, a lot of explainers, a lot of conversations, and less cinematic. So it's less, it doesn't matter as much.
Right.
You gotta definitely have good audio, because if I'm watching a video and the volume's way down or it's scratchy or it's just shitty audio, I'm gonna go find something else to watch. Yeah. It could be the best content in the planet, but if I can't hear it very well, I'm not fucking with it. But I can deal with video.
Yeah, hobbyist, I've got the Pocket 3. That is really nice. Although, be careful with it, especially if you ever use it as a webcam. Do not leave it plugged in. That's the key.
Why is that?
Plugged in. Well, my battery died, and I had to send it in just in the nick of
completely
time.
Dead.
Warranty. Yeah, completely dead. It would.
Oh wow.
Well, I shouldn't say completely dead. It wasn't completely dead. It would not charge up to where it was supposed to. It wouldn't get above like 72%, and as soon as you took it off, it would like die in an instant. And normally you can have this thing run like forever. I mean, it takes a really long time. So, and I know that's not the first time that's happened. So that's the only thing I can think of with what I did to it that might have been different than others was I've used it as a webcam. It's my overhead cam. That's what I use when I use an overhead cam. So right now it's sitting there, but I do not have it plugged in. I left it plugged in for a really, really long period of time. So would not suggest doing that. I think the heat from doing that, and it may not have a real good like shut off mechanism to say, okay, we're done charging, I'm not pulling any more energy at all, type of thing. So
yeah, it's so tiny. The heat dissipation on that's got to be garbage.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But it works really well, and it's really good from the standpoint of, if I'm going somewhere and I need to tape something, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to take as a remote camera.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't pull myself to pay $900 for a Pocket 3. Like,
wait, 900?
Yes, they're stupid ridiculous right now. For the creator kit, it's like $900. For just the Pocket 3 itself was like $7. Yeah.
Mine was like 635, I think.
It's got stupid. Even that, dude, that's a like $500 camera max, for the whole creator kit with the extra handle and the battery and all that bullshit. So I got the Feiyutech Pocket 3. This thing is pretty cool. And so this is the whole camera.
Right.
That's it. So you can buy just this and buy this separate, but I got it all as a kit.
Right.
And it comes with this mount. So I put this on the handle on my FX30. So I'm doing a conversation or an interview with somebody, and I've got it on a separate angle as well, like a little bit of an off angle. And it's not picture perfect quality, but it is pretty cool to be able to jump back and forth, between one view and another view, all within the same interview, right? Mm-hmm. Without having another camera and a tripod set up or somebody walking around and doing B-roll. But yeah, right. Javi said he paid $1,100 for the creator kit. That's I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
Oh my Lord. No, I would definitely would have done that. So the reason why I got this one, I got the Pocket 3 was originally because Sunflower Mama was going to use it when she was like working outside. Anyway, it won't go into the whole thing of, I think she could do really well on YouTube because she's got lots of hobbies that she could just share with people.
Yeah.
And, but again, we all know you kind of have to want to do it. You have to have a little bit of confidence to do it, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'd gotten it for her so that it would track her. So you can basically say,
oh yeah,
what you're tracking, and it would auto track her when she was walking around the yard. And then she would have a remote mic. So she could just keep talking and not even have to worry about the camera. So that was the idea why I got it in the first place. So I use it for things that are completely separate than that now.
Well, the DJI Mic 2 receiver and I think the Mic Mini link directly to the DJI Pocket 3. So you don't have to have a separate receiver that goes in through USB or 3.5 millimeter jack. It actually, like Bluetooth essentially is linked to it.
The creator kit comes with the remote mic. So that's kind of
okay.
That's why I got it. Was mainly because of that, not for the extra battery or anything like that that came with it. So it was just kind of just easy to order. And like I said, the creator kit didn't cost that much more.
It does now.
I see that.
It really does now. Yeah.
Hobbyist Miner, I'm sure it was the Pocket 3. I have the camera right there and it says Pocket 3 on it. And here's the creator kit.
Yeah. It's the
I'm
DJI.
telling you, it was not that much. Here's the extra battery.
Yeah.
Here's the mic that came with it. It says DJI on it. So no, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, they have a Pocket 2 as well, but it doesn't have the flip screen. Yeah. It will still do that horizontal video, but it's just not as good a quality.
Yeah. No, this is definitely the Pocket 3. Like I said, it used to be a lot less expensive. I'm telling you, it was nowhere near. It was
when it first came out. That's what I said. It's a $500 camera.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, but the hype around it and its FOMO and its supply and demand. People want it, so they jack up the price.
Yep. I thought they'd be coming out with a new one pretty soon, but obviously if they're jacking up the price, I guess not. But go figure. Let's see. I am becoming a DJI fangirl.
Yeah.
The DJI Mini 4, the Pocket 3, love the mic it comes with. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I have 2 Rode mics. When they go, we'll move to DJI. Yeah, I actually have a Rode, like I got it originally the first the only mining disrupt that I went to, or did I don't know, I went to some event where I brought my camera and it wasn't when I had the Pocket 3 yet, and so I brought the ZVE1 and I had like a Rode like mini shotgun mic that went on the camera. And I don't even know where that is. I don't use it. There's just no reason. The ZV1 stays here, and if I go anywhere, I bring the Pocket 3 with me. It's just way easier keeping it simple. Pocket 3 launched at 509T. Once it got crazy, they increased it to 800. Wow.
Yeah. That's what I say. It's a $500 camera, just like the quality of it, what it does. It's a cool camera, but it's a $500 camera. It's not $1,000 worth.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Nuts. That's nuts.
I mean, this was $329.
Now I'm like really curious. I got it from Amazon, so it won't take me long to find. Now I really want to look to see what I bought it for, because maybe I'm smoking something. I just don't remember.
Hobbyists. So the DJI Mini 4 drone, the DJI drones, not the what's the new one? It starts with an A of Avica. Anyway, those are like traditional drone style, right? Where you've got a controller with a screen on it. They're not the FPVs. And yeah, the footage on that drone shot was good. It was really good. I don't know. I've been looking at some different FPV drones to get into too, but I'm like, there's just so much shit I want to do. I'd love to get an FPV drone, but at the same time, I could spend that money on a racing sim and put that in the spare bedroom. Yeah.
I'm like, when the hell did I get this? So I'm like trying to find where the hell. Where's that?
Yeah, right now it's $7.99. And the creator Capture More combo is $8.39. And then the full creator combo is $13.75.
There it is.
That's insane. But that also comes with 2 mics.
Yeah, it was. Wait a minute. Paid $1,100 for that thing? Oh wow. Yeah, it definitely has changed. I think I bought it for $669. That's what I think I bought it for.
Yeah, $1,300 now.
Well, on Amazon it says $949, $950 basically for the creator combo. And then $800, yeah. Wow, that's insane.
So you could resell yours and probably make money on it.
Probably can.
Yeah, I think they're going that much used. $700-800 used.
Oh, that's interesting. I just happened to look on here and there was an alert saying item you have bought has been recalled.
Oh.
Your daughter's air conditioner.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Oh, there it is. Due to risk of mold exposure. Nice. Nice. All right, now I gotta go back. I know I bought it from for some reason I couldn't find the order. But $669 does ring a bell, and I think that's what it was. Let me go to all of 2024 because I bought it in 2024. And then it should be under DJI. Yeah, the teleprompter I bought, not with the screen or anything, was like $54. Wasn't much.
Yeah, I think mine was about 80.
Yeah, that's not.
I was originally going to build my own. I got the glass and everything. Then I'm like, man, I'll just fucking buy one. It's going to take me so long to one of those projects that you never start.
Yeah.
Or that never gets finished. I had so many of those.
All right. It's really bugging me that I cannot find this. I know I bought it from Amazon. It should be right about this time. So weird. Maybe I bought it for somewhere else. But anyway, $669 is what I'm pretty sure I bought it for.
Yeah. That's a good deal.
Yeah, well, yeah, it certainly looks that way now.
Yeah, you must have got it early too.
So if as far as what you have versus the Pocket 3, do you see any differences?
Pocket 3 is much better quality.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. I think the Pocket 3 has a 1-inch CMOS sensor. Mine is not. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's not. The videos I see with the Pocket 3 look a lot better than the videos that I've produced with this. But it does a really good time lapse. And it's got a super long battery. It's got a battery in the little camera piece itself as well as in the handle. So it goes for a super long time. Like when I went to the Bitmain event in Vegas, I had it doing time lapse for like probably 2.5 hours, just sitting there going. And it didn't get hot. I mean, it got hot, but it didn't like overheat and shut down. It was just running. I still had plenty of battery left too.
God, it is making me crazy. Like that I cannot find this where I bought this thing from. I just figured I'd be able to go and type in DJI and find the order in my email.
Oh, go to Amazon.
I did. I went there first. Yeah, that's the first place I went. Now I'm like, maybe I didn't buy it from them. Let me go back. Maybe if I look here. Yeah, this is... Nope, that's not it.
Well, while he's doing that, let me ask you guys in chat, do you guys want to see me do a live stream assembling a new desktop tomorrow? Watch me fumble and drop a CPU and bend all the pins and get pissed off and throw shit and break more shit in the basement. Would that be exciting for everyone to see?
It would.
Swamp 7, yes.
Absolutely would be.
Yeah, I think I might do that tomorrow then, because she's going to go camping. And I think she's taking one of the kids. Dude, did you know that... I'm sure it's public information. They're closing down the Six Flags in Gurney.
No.
Yeah, they're like $5 billion in debt. I mean, as an organization, but they're cutting. My daughter works there. They're cutting hours. They're cutting people. Like her schedule got cut in half this week. She worked 2 days instead of 5. And yeah, they're going to be closing it down if they don't start making some money. And they're not going to make money.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they just spent a whole bunch of money on new rides.
Yeah, new rides. Yeah. Big rides.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're already cutting hours. They're closing down some of the shops in there and stuff. Yeah. They're just not making any money.
Are they just not having people come through? I mean, is it there's fewer people or what?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. So she was saying that it's the business, because she works at one of the vendors, like the food vendors. And she's like, it's slower than it was even earlier in the summer or like late spring when she first started and was working there. A lot more standing around. People aren't spending money at the stores and at the vendors and stuff like they were. But I mean, I get it. A barbecue sandwich is like $28, and then like a side of fries is like another 12. Yeah, they got ridiculous prices on food there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh, hobbyist miner. You need a second one? We'll sell you mine for $1,000. Throw a hobbyist miner sticker in there.
The stickers where all the value comes from in that deal, man.
Yeah. You'll sell me the camera for $1, but you'll sell me your sticker for $999. That's how you sell it, hobbyist. That's how you sell it.
That's right. Buy the sticker and get a free camera.
Right, but that's crazy.
Yeah, Frogman Mining says they're closing the one in Maryland after this. One in St. Louis is still open.
Wow. I'm glad we're on the same page. And as long as you're here, I'll give you credit. I appreciate all the help you've been giving me every time I ask for it. Really appreciate it.
And just wait, that invoice will come rolling in.
I know. I'm just waiting for
I'll
it.
send you an invoice. I don't know how he does it, man. He's really, really tight scheduled. Like he is.
I know.
He's really thorough about that. That's one thing I can appreciate about him.
Yeah, absolutely. He
makes a schedule. He sticks to it.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, I've been really kind of evaluating, you know, when you absolutely want to do something, you're going to do it. So, I mean, it's flat out. You find a way. You just find a way.
Yep.
So I've been really trying to think. I'm like, I really do want to make videos, but I'm trying to find the magic recipe for me to make it easier for me to get through the process, because I get stuck. And where I'm like, okay, what do I do next? And that type of thing. And that's what frustrates me. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. But when it comes to like yesterday, we were about ready to leave to go to see my daughter's concert. And I was like, yeah, I got a little bit of time. Let me go downstairs. Let me go down there and see if I can put the two 3090s in the same, in the same computer. So I was motivated to do that. So what? Guess what? I found a little bit of time and I went down there, pulled it out of the rack, put it on the table, realized it's not going to work, and put it back in and turned it back on and got it back running. And it took me about 20 minutes to do. 20 minutes is a lot of time. You get a lot done in 20 minutes. But when it comes time to editing or shooting a video or whatever, you're just like, yeah, I don't have enough time. I only got 20 minutes.
So I wonder, I was thinking about this today when I was doing a video and I'm unboxing this thing and I'm like talking, I got a camera here, I got a camera here looking at it, I got a camera over here, and I'm like, I really wish I had those glasses that Chump has, the Meta glasses where it's got the camera in it, because I can like be using both hands and see exactly what I'm seeing. The mic's picking up everything. I'm wondering if something like that for you would be helpful as well. And like start getting into shorts. Like you said, I got 20 minutes here, I got 30 minutes there, whatever. Do the short, export it, put it in CapCut, spit it out, start getting some traction, get the dopamine from, getting views, getting subs, getting interactions and stuff. And then it gets you to drive more, I feel like we kind of get into that slump, and then it's kind of hard to get out of. But once you get a little bit of that dopamine in you, like it was probably 2 weeks where I didn't do a video. And then I did a couple of shorts and I was like, all right, I'm going to shoot some videos. And I shot like 3 today. And now I'm going to do a short later and I'm going to get that dopamine hit and then go back and edit more videos.
Right.
Either that or, I'm sure I could find you cocaine because it is Chicago.
Yes, it is Chicago. I don't recommend that. Hey, I drink 2 monsters a day. That's good enough for me. I remember like when I was doing a video a day, I was just concentrating on getting it out and I was committed to doing it. That was at a different time, way different time. And I think actually at that point, if I remember correctly, no, I guess that was 2021. So I did have a job at that point. I think. Now I got to go back and look. But anyway, if it was 2020, I was without a job. So that was a lot easier to do at that point. But I think it was 2021 when I did that. I did 30 days straight. And I think it was December. And that worked out really well. I did all kinds of different things. And I've been told that is a great exercise. Don't concentrate so much on quality. Do a good quality video, but don't like stress over it. Limit yourself in the amount of time that you are going to edit the video. Limit the amount of time that you're going to record the video. And so really set time limits around how much time you're going to spend on all this and just upload. And he put it this way. He's like, look, it's putting in the reps. He's like, while all those videos may not be the best quality, but you are going to get better at putting out quick videos. That's the key. He's like, obviously you're not going to do some, really complicated how-to video during that period of time because you just don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a talking head video where you're talking about a topic, which is most of what I do, you can do that. So I really need to get back to that, where trying to get back at a certain time each night, and then after dinner, sit down, record, edit, done. That's what I need to get to. Like I said,
what the fuck are articles? Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and now articles are my new thing. What are articles?
Is that in Threads you're talking about?
No idea.
I mean, I know I'm asking him.
Threads are Facebook, right? Or the Threads is a Facebook,
yes.
but I don't fucking know anymore, man.
I don't know either. My wife's into Threads. I'm not much into Facebook at all anymore.
No.
I basically I have notifications that come up by phone, and when I see something interesting, I click on that notification, look at it, and then I'm done. What I think are Threads.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look up Facebook Threads. You can see it. It's, I don't know. It sounds like Facebook Facebook forums, basically, is what it sounds like to me.
They're competing with themselves because they own Instagram, right?
Right.
So it's an Instagram style app, but Facebook branded. I don't even know. Who knows what that alien freaking Zuck is doing anymore? It's weird.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's trying to do something a little bit different.
It's all the fucking same.
Yeah, it is. It's all social media.
Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. TikTok is like the brain rot. I love to get a lot of the home lab videos that, like, anytime I do a short for YouTube, I put it on TikTok too, and Instagram. Instagram's okay. TikTok, there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of home labbers on TikTok, or wannabe home labbers that like, oh wow, that's great. I didn't know that was a thing, or oh, look what I've done in mine, and they'll link their video and stuff. A lot of back and forth conversation goes on the home lab stuff in TikTok, but it's such a fucking brain rot. It really is. Like I'll post something and then go in and like interact with it and, you know, do the pattern or whatever to get it, and then I'll get caught scrolling. I'm like, fuck, no, put this down.
Right. I happen to do that with shorts, YouTube shorts, but I refuse. TikTok is not on my phone. It won't be on my phone. Instagram's on my phone, but I never look at it. Like I have a notification that comes up for Instagram. I should just turn my Instagram notifications off. But when an Instagram notification comes up, I'm always swiping it. I very rarely, the only time I ever look at it is if it's something for my wife. I'll be like, oh, wonder what she posted. And then of course it's 99 times out of 100, it's something that she already posted on Facebook that I've already seen. So that really doesn't mean anything, but anyway, all right. Well, geez, we've been going 2 hours and 45 minutes. I can't believe we've been going that long. All right. One more thing. Hobbyist says, I have started writing articles on my website to bring in more
articles. I got it now. That makes sense.
From Google, trying to pull in different eyes. Interesting. Well, you know, here, I'll give you a thought, because I know that there's a number of YouTubers that will actually like transcribe their videos and post them as articles.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
They will do that. Like, I believe Naz Compares. They actually have, for every video they have an article that basically is the same thing. I don't know if it's a direct transcription of it. I just know it's the same exact topic and subject and analysis.
Video tap. Yeah. So essentially you're taking the transcription of the video and rewording it in an article format,
or not
using AI, or yeah, that's not a bad idea. And depending on how you publish it, hell, you could get ad revenue from it too.
Yeah.
Like you can put ads on your, on your blog sites and stuff.
Yeah, I've had a few blog sites. Actually wrote for a blog site for a while, for somebody else's, and then helped him sell advertising on it. It was a rideshare website, and I've talked about it a little bit in the past.
Oh yeah.
And I sold like slots for insurance agents that were selling specific rideshare insurance. And actually got to the point where I had sold like 100,000 worth of this, where it was yearly, it was recurring, that people would have to continue paying, but it was where it was driving 100,000 in revenue, and he was giving me 30% of it. So I was like, nice side gig. And then once I had gotten it to that point, he's like, yeah, I don't need you anymore. See ya. I was like, you fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing was, it was one of those things where I knew I knew that I shouldn't do that, but I was like, no, guy seems like a really nice guy. I think we're good. There's a little bird in my back of my brain saying, the last time you did something like this, you said you were going to have a contract the next time. Why don't you have a contract? And it bit me in the ass yet again.
Yeah.
Again.
It happens.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yep. I won't do that again.
Well, now you can just use ChatGPT to spin up a contract, have it done on your phone.
That's true. That's true. If I ever have that same type of opportunity again, absolutely.
Even just simple T's and C's,
Yep.
You spit out what you want it to say and it'll go through and do all the legal bullshit.
I know exactly what I would have done. I would have been like, great, you can get rid of me at any time. That's fine. But you will pay me out for a specific period of time beyond that for every insurance agent that I placed. And you will continue to pay me residuals basically. It could have been, we could have negotiated something where there's a declining structure over time, whatever, but not where he's just flat out just cutting me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. That guy's a piece of work. Absolute piece of work. And I think at this point he sold the website. The website's the rideshare guy, but I don't see him on there anymore. So he's kind of a type of guy where develop something, sell it from a media perspective.
It can be a lucrative business.
It can be. What's interesting is they did finally take the one article I wrote for that website. It was a April Fool's joke. It was
you told me about that.
Yeah, I told you about that. Yeah, Get a Ride. And it was in the Wayback Machine for a while, but I've heard that the Wayback Machine is like going away too. Somebody had mentioned that at some point.
The Internet Archive's been hacked a few times, so
yeah,
kind of hard to keep that shit up and secure with no funding and no real team to keep managing it.
It's iRescue Data. Good to see you, sir. I'm gonna plug tens again. Only 50, 30, 70s on the network. Wallet never crashes. Kapow GPU mining is back. Of course, I got bags of it. Okay, so tens is a crypto? You know anything about it?
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, neither have I. Well, I don't think you mean that professional gamer. Oh yeah, crypto tens. Didn't even know that. Tenzura. Is that what you're talking about, iRescue Data? Great website grammar. Hey, Automatic Beats, good to see you. I'm just sitting here trying to find any information on it, like the specific project. Did you find anything?
No. Tens, TENZ.
I see. I found the X account.
Crypto. Tens crypto. Tens coin price.
Oh, it's a different tens.
Yeah, tens the USD calculator on Coin Paprika. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah, it does say it uses Kapow. And Zura is a standalone community-driven cryptocurrency built on its own decentralized blockchain and secured by the Kapow mining algorithm. It offers a fair and sustainable platform for decentralized transactions, emphasizing accessibility, security, and long-term growth. Sounds like every other crypto project. I'm trying to figure out if it's on any here we go. Mining, it is mining pool stats.
Market cap's only $3,000. It's really new then.
It seems like it. Let me go to the new projects.
New GPU mineable coin that's gonna save the world.
Right? New coins. Let's see. Yep. It has been 46 days. 1.28 gigahash. And current height is 67,374 blocks. The question is does it have any rabbit.org? Oh, it's on MEX. No, it's not on MEXC. I thought for a second it was on MEXC, but that's an ad. It's on rabid-rabbit.org. It's on that exchange, which I've never heard of. Wow. Interesting. But hey, it may get on other exchanges and that'll only pump the price, right? They always say get in early.
I don't know. I feel like the days of spec mining and jumping around, and like what we all did after the ETH days, you know, some of us went to Ergo, some of us went to Flux, some of us mined a new coin every day for an entire month in December and then regret every minute of it.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. That guy was crazy. But yeah, I think those days are over, or like very limited. It's the same shit, different name. A lot of the same developers even are like jumping from one project to another. And it's just, it doesn't, for me, it didn't feel the same. I haven't been mining anything for a while now, but especially GPU mining. I haven't been GPU mining shit. I don't even have any fucking GPUs left.
I have GPUs left, but yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's not rented, so I could put that on there, but that's going to generate a ton of heat in the basement, and it's hot out, and I'd rather not do that. But it is kind of interesting. It has 22 miners on it. Doesn't mean 22 GPUs, but 22 different mining addresses or crypto addresses on it. That's it.
It's super early.
Yeah.
What's the block reward? And is there a value yet?
Hang on, let me see if it shows me what the value is. Let's see if I can even, if this is a US exchange where I can actually see the value.
I was gonna say, if it's that few on it, put a couple of GPUs, solo it for a few weeks, get a big fat bag, and then just wait.
Well, let's see.
Just make sure you put the wallet in a VM, please.
Yeah, no kidding. It appears.
Yeah, iRescue data says there's 4 zeros.
Yeah,
and a 2.
And a 2. Yeah, 4 zeros and a 2, but I don't know what the block reward is. The last transaction was 4 zeros and 119, and that was for 252,941 tens for $3.01.
Yeah, it's just another coin that's going to change the world. Hobbyists put it very well. I don't know.
Hey, you could be a tens millionaire probably really, really quickly. Like this one sold 7.25 million, and it was worth $37.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like Nexa.
Tens whale.
Unreal. Alrighty. Before we get to 3 hours, I'm gonna call it a night. I
keep
appreciate
going,
you guys.
We're only 3 minutes away from 3 hours.
Fine, we'll go 3 more minutes just to say that we went 3 hours.
Just to say we went 3 hours.
iRescue data. I own 6 million of 300 million coins. Oh, there's only 300 million coins.
Wow.
Wow, that is what's
I mean,
did he say what the cannot buy, no liquidity. What is the block? Are you doing solo mining or are you doing pool mining? iRescue data.
What pools is it on?
Our plant, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Yes, the YouTube display names are screwed up again, Frogman. I don't know. So it was interesting that with Panda Stream today, they were all fine. So I'm assuming it's a setting.
What do you mean?
So if you look at everybody's, like if you look at me on there, I'm max voltage tech. When I am normally chatting, it just says max voltage. There's no @ symbol. It's just,
Oh yeah.
and now when you chat, it has the @ symbol and your full YouTube specific. So I see how
Oh yeah, it does say that. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
don't know why it's doing that. I'm not sure. I have no idea. All right, let's see. Pool mining around 100,000 per day on two 3070s. Wait a minute. Didn't you say you had 50 3070s? Why do you not have every single one of those 3070s on this?
I think he said there's 50 3070s on the network. Only 50 3070s on the network.
Oh god.
While it never crashes, Kapow GPU mining is back.
I wouldn't go that far. Total on the network. So if I put like my 25090s that aren't doing anything right now, I'd probably like have 20% of the network.
You would have 20% of the network hash rate. Yeah, you would take over. Like take your Octo server off, put it on that, and wreck the network for a day.
Yeah. That would be pretty funny.
Just so
Right.
So you could be a tens whale. Retro Mike can be a pigeon whale. We'll all find some random coin to just wreck the network on, and we'll all have our own little whale projects that we'll own.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds
Put
like fun.
50 CMP 100 210s on it. Yes, you absolutely should. Well, the devs will be like, "What is happening?"
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. Just let me know when you do it. I want to watch the network.
Yes, be a whale.
Well,
Yeah. I'll ping Panda after this and tell him to put it on there for 24 hours.
I need to ping him anyway because I said I was going to help him. So we'll see if he still wants to be helped.
He doesn't want your help.
We all know he can't be helped.
He's beyond help.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me, Goat.
Sure, man.
Fun.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And for the rest of you guys, again, I will be back next Sunday night. And as always,
Smash that thumb on the way out.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, all the things.
all the things I forget to say. So thank you. I appreciate that. And as always, there are no tabs that were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good night, everybody.